Hi there, namaste, and welcome back to another Spiritualistik Pick a Card reading. Today we're going to take a look at how August 2025 is going to go for you. So please take a deep breath, drawing the energy up your spine, creating a clear and open channel. As you exhale, allow yourself to come into clear knowing which group or groups has your message in it for you today. We have group number 1 on the left with Healing the Inner Child. Group number 2 in the center with Fully Integrated. And group number 3 on the right with Ask for Help. As always, the timestamps to your readings are listed below in the description box. If you'd like to meditate with me, you can find that as the first link in the description box. If you're interested in one-on-ones with me, you'll find that also in the box down below, but it's on Etsy at Spiritualistik. I have a whole spiritual store there where you can find one-on-ones with me, tarot, astrology, Reiki, channeling, etc. And you can also find my tarot decks, oracle decks, the books that I've written, journals that I've created for you intentionally, so on and so forth, crystals that I wrap. So with that being said, I love you and I'm grateful for you. For those of you who are interested in checking out my book club, you can find that on Patreon too. So that is donation based and we meet every other month. So we're about to start voting for our next book. Our upcoming meeting is August 3rd. And so we are going to start deliberating that week on our next book. So if you're interested in joining that, you're more than welcome. Don't forget to follow me on TikTok and Instagram and on Patreon as well. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe over here. It sends me lots of love. And I do have an exclusive platform here on YouTube as well. I have a members only channel, so if you're interested in that, you can find a lot more content that will suit your needs spiritually as well there. So I love you, I'm grateful for you, and I'll see you at your reading. Namaste. Hi group 1, namaste, and welcome to your reading. Today we're taking a look at how August 2025 is going to go for you. We're looking at this week by week, and you selected the first group with the Healing the Inner Child card. Now the first thing I'm getting here, of course, with Healing the Inner Child is this sense of liberation, meaning that this isn't necessarily you looking at old wounds or breaking patterns or giving yourself like love in places that maybe you were neglecting yourself or others neglected you. What it's really giving is you've broken patterns. You've given yourself that love, and so now when you see little things creep up, you're like, absolutely not. That can absolutely miss me. So this is a really beautiful energy here. It's really giving strength, liberation. It's giving you protecting your inner child, not in a sense of overprotecting or like closing off, but in a sense of no, boundaries, healthy, evolved, and it's not new. It's just that now it's normalized, it's naturalized into your energy field. It's really beautiful. So we are going to look at the astrological themes week by week and see how they're going to impact you. Okay, but first we're going to look at the astrology dice here, and we're just going to see what wants to come through for you for August 2025, generally speaking, before we go through each week. So let's see for group number 1. So it seems as though there's a lesson that you've learned here pertaining to your communication, and there's also maybe a little bit of an energy of others gossiping about you, or you fearing other people gossiping about you, or maybe it's just something that you're used to that would have gone back to your childhood, maybe one of your parents. I'm getting a masculine energy, although that is not relating to the gender of the person, right? So what we have here is this impacting your self-talk. And as we're looking at this, you're realizing, okay, well, if I put in the work in order to grow out of that, to evolve into that, if I focus on loving myself and I expand my awareness, expand my consciousness, I choose to be present, I choose to give myself love, I choose to go after what it is that I want, I choose to get to know myself better, then I will break these chains. And that's a really beautiful energy. So we have this kind of culmination point, full circle moment that's arriving for you August 2025. There is going to be a huge emphasis here on, I'll say parental energy. It's giving like parental, like paternal, because we have Saturn and Capricorn here, which are a match. We also have 2 1s here, which is really significant as well, which lets me know as well that your focus on yourself and your evolution is going to be what becomes more important to you over time. So you're going to focus a little less on, let's say, maybe external approval, public reputation, or even maybe your career, and you're going to focus more on self-expression. And you're going to find that you focusing on the self-expression and releasing attachment to your career, public reputation, or outside approval is going to actually lead you into a path that is more, it makes your goals and your desires more accessible. We have a focus on your spirituality, not in like the astral or akashic or past lives kind of way, but in the consciousness kind of way. So you're going to find that you're more present in the moment. You're going to find that your soul maybe feels less grounded into body consciousness. You're going to find that you are getting to know yourself better. You're honoring yourself a little bit more. And this has something to do with you having some sort of a stable foundation. It's kind of like, I'm getting this pattern from the inner child where maybe you're used to people saying negative things about you or to your face or about you while you're present, or just gossiping in general about people. And this is something you learn to not do for yourself. This is something that you choose to evolve out of. Now, coming all the way to the present moment, we also have this vibe where you understand that your public reputation, it's quite good. It's more in alignment with who you are. And so, as you are aware that now, if you express yourself, it will be supported. It will be understood. People see you for who, what, when, where, why, how you are, instead of maybe a twisted narrative, or instead of a manipulated narrative. Like, what you're realizing is that your direct environment, your neighborhood, if you will, your community, it loves you. It supports you. It puts you first in the ways that you need to be put first. And the growing awareness of this allows you to not only express yourself more authentically, be kinder to yourself mentally, but also achieve and manifest your desires. So you're going to find a lot of your desires coming through, a lot of your manifestations coming through towards the end of August. So with that coming through, let's take a look at the cards. We're going to go, like I said, week by week. Okay, so we do have 4 weeks here in August. So the theme of the first week, astrologically, in a general sense, okay, the way that it's going to impact you based upon your unique natal chart will be different for everybody, okay, but the general astrological theme for week 1 is new beginnings and self-expression. So maybe you want to pull out a notebook and take a look at some of these energies, jot them down so that you can be aware of them as they come up. So the theme, new beginnings and self-expression, which we have here with all the ones and the Gemini energy coming through right in the middle. So there's something here that you want to move towards. It seems as though there's a project that you've got maybe sitting around that you want to do, but it feels as though maybe you want to enjoy the creation process, and maybe it feels like it will be something that's wrapped up quite quickly. Maybe you don't know where to put it, or maybe you don't know where it will take you once you put it out there, okay? So we have this coming through. It's not giving procrastination, it's giving you want to be intentional with it, and so you're kind of waiting for that balance. You're waiting for maybe a sign from the universe, you're waiting for that extra space. Maybe you need a certain kind of environment or a certain kind of transit or whatever it is, because we're all out here doing different things, right? So you're going to be noticing as well that you feel a little more free to be yourself. You feel a little less held back, a little less stressed, a little less anxious. You're ready for new beginnings. And you're also noticing that you're quite diplomatic. You're noticing that you're quite the mediator, if you will, which is, I think, INFP, if you're into the MTBI personality test. I know everybody's not, that's okay. But I am getting this energy of abundance, this diplomacy, and this balance as well. We have this awareness that you're noticing, you're watching yourself be in this energy, and you're realizing, wait, this actually isn't a new energy. I've been diplomatic. I've been a mediator. I've been balanced. I've been neutral. I've been in the center. And when you realize that your internal narrative is actually catching up with the positive opinion of those around you, the new beginning for you here is that your stress levels drop. The way you treat yourself is kinder, not out of material habit, not out of physical habit, but out of the way that you genuinely internally feel connected to yourself. And so that's beautiful. We love to see it for you, group number 1. So let's see if there's an event to look out for here the first week of August for you. 10 of Pentacles. So do keep an eye out. Okay, you're going to be increasing some finances. You're going to have a wonderful time in your home, around your home, in your neighborhood, around a neighborhood of a loved one. Okay, spending some time with family, specifically maybe a paternal figure. There are going to be some positive moments that really make you feel like they're good memories, right? Good times with good people kind of vibe. And also you're going to have some sort of material abundance. I'm getting overflow. So if you're having a hard time maybe reaching a particular goal or paying a certain bill, that something's going to come through the first week of August that gives you overflow, okay? I'm getting enough for you not to stress out and maybe get yourself a little sweet treat, okay? So with that being the case, it can also be that you get a job offer. If that's not the position that you were in financially, it can be that you get a new offer in your career, a new offer to invest in something. And for some of you, it's going to be some sort of a career offer, a job offer that will in some way launch your public reputation or help assist or boost your public reputation. It's something to add to the repertoire is what I'm getting for you, okay? Something that's not necessary, but it's nice. It adds to the fluff in a positive way, okay? So this is week number 1 of August. Looking at week number 2 here, the theme is practicality and grounding. So this is taking a look at how you are grounding your goals. What steps are you taking to achieve these goals? How are you unlocking the dream aspects within you and then grounding it into reality? How are you taking that ethereal energy and really grounding it? So this is the theme, the general theme for week number 2. So let's take a look at week number 2 for August here for you, group 1. Okay, you've got almost but not quite. So that might be how you feel about grounding some of your manifestations. And we have the Nine of Pentacles. So week number 2, you're actually going to be focusing on being a little bit more self-serving in a positive way. Now with the Seven of Swords here, you might also feel a little bit, let's say, perhaps bad. I'm getting the phrase survivor's guilt as well, but it doesn't need to be. Okay, so say that you have people around you who are very, very used to you serving them. Okay, now we love to be in service. It's a positive trait. But sometimes we can overgive. Sometimes we need to focus on ourselves so that we're happy and we're healthy and we're working towards our goals, right? We need to have a good baseline of that. And then we can give with the extra, or we can follow our intuition, right? So we have here week 2, you're like, you know what, I really want to ground this goal. Like I really do want to show up and exercise all the time. And you might have that friend who's like, well, if you exercise, then you're not on the phone with me. Or if you are, if you're trying to get healthier, then you're not going out drinking with me on the weekend. Or if you are trying to spend extra hours at work, then you're not at home cooking for me, or you're not watching my kids, or you're not, right? Something like this. So we do have this energy of you kind of realizing, I'm hearing the song Coming of Age, okay? So we do have this awareness like, hey, I'm the one, if I want something to happen in my life, I'm the one that's got to make the change, and I'm the one that's got to make it happen, okay? And you're also encouraging those around you to do the same. Maybe you might have some difficult conversations pertaining to, hey, you can dream all you want, but if you don't act, nothing's going to change. Or you can keep your limiting beliefs, that's fine, but you're not going to reach your goals. Or something along the lines of, well, you can manifest your desires all you want, you can visualize, you can magnetize, but if you're not doing anything, you're not going anywhere. It's giving the, that definition of insanity is doing things over and over again, expecting a different result. You have this awareness, you're taking action in your own life. You are taking accountability, responsibility for yourself as you do. And in some way though, you feel as though you are either deceiving somebody else, or you feel like you need to be sneaky in order to do so. For example, you're waking up, I'm just being shown an example, you're waking up early before your partner to sneak out of bed and whiten your teeth, because maybe they would judge you for whitening your teeth. Or maybe they don't, if they know that you are having 30 minutes where you can't talk, right? They might intentionally try to have a conversation with you or disrespect that boundary, right? They want the spotlight to be on them, and you're trying to do something healthy for yourself. So it's giving an energy like this. And you're going to realize as well that there is some sort of energy that's closed here, and then it's on its way to you. You're going to realize a while ago you detached from something. And because you detached from it, it was a desire of yours, now it's coming in, it is manifesting. Because sometimes the action is taking steps towards something, and sometimes the action is the act of detachment. So, different things cause for different actions, of course, but if you want to move in a particular direction, you do need to take steps there. And you do know this. And so you're going to be taking steps here the week number 2 of August. You're being rational, you're being practical, and you're also noticing that your spirituality becomes more of a focus because you want to stay in energetic alignment. You want to continue to keep patterns, cycles, habits closed that you did a long time ago. For example, say that you stopped drinking alcohol 5 years ago, and all of a sudden someone in your life is like, hey, let's go party. They try to peer pressure you, right? So now it's an opportunity for you to say no, or for you to say, yeah, I'll absolutely go and I'll hang out with you, and then you leave before the alcohol comes out, right? But you might feel like you need to be a little sneaky, and you're not being deceptive, you're not doing anything wrong, you're not being out of integrity, but you are putting yourself first, right? It might be something along the lines of keeping to yourself how much money you have in your bank account, not because you're trying to manipulate a situation, but because someone else would try to manipulate the situation, okay? It's giving something like this. So, with the star in reversed, this indicates that your manifestations with the Three of Wands are coming in, and they are grounding. Okay, so the star indicates light that is anchoring. Now, the star reversed can indicate, well, this energy being doubled or opposite, which does indicate as well that second week of August, you're going to be feeling like you're living the life of your dreams. You are living a life that you've wanted to have for such a very long time, and you worked to get there. Now you have it. You have the resources, you have the life, you are where you wanted to be, at least at some point in your life. And so now the question is, what do you do with it? You have the resources in front of your face, and now all of a sudden, all of the shadows come out to play. Can they distract you? Can they tempt you? The answer is no. But how do you navigate moving forward with a life that you love into a life that you love even more, that's even more in alignment with people around you who would love to see you self-sacrifice yourself? Because that way you can offer them love. Pour into their cup with a hole right in the bottom. So, we have this coming up as your theme, group number 1, for the second week of August. Let's see what kind of events you can look forward to here. And this can be spiritual, right? This can be something that you're realizing. We do have the inner child card here. So it could be that you are dealing with something ancestral. It can be that this is a spiritual subconscious process that goes on. This can be what happens in your dreams. You can find things coming up that's not maybe so at the forefront of your life. Again, it depends on your individual chart and your experience and your growth journey, right? But this is the theme here. Okay. I'm hearing with the Ace of Cups here, we have no love lost. So an event here is you're realizing that there's something that you no longer want to invest in, okay, emotionally. So this can be that you might even have some sort of a tiff with a loved one, right? It can be that you decide at this point in time that, you know, this person isn't going to be the person for me. I kind of knew that, but now it's for certain. Like, now it's positive. An event that's coming through here is that you might find somebody trying to play hot and cold with you. Okay, they might say, well, I'll take you to the movies if you tell me how much is in your bank account, and if that's enough to go to the movies, and we'll go. And I'll take you, and I'll even pay, as long as I know what's in your bank account, right? It's kind of giving like a little manipulation. It's giving someone playing runner chaser, but on purpose. It's giving kind of the energy of someone saying, well, if you're chasing after me, then I'm going to run away because I think it'll make you chase after me harder. And if you show up, and then if you detach your energy because you deserve more respect than that, which is, again, the focus of this week for you, then you're going to notice that they give you just enough to hold on, but then breadcrumb you so that when you detach, then they'll give you just enough to hold on again. So it's a little bit of this energy here. So look out for an event like this where someone is intentionally putting a wall up in a connection with you. And it's not because they're moving out of love. It's because they're acting out of trying to see what they can get out of you. So I do want to make that aware. I want to make you aware of that, okay? So let's take a look at the third week of August for you, group number 1. So, interestingly enough, the astrological theme, generally, for week 3 of August, it's actually harmony in relationships. Harmony with self, harmony with the world around you, harmony with your relationships. So here we're going to be taking a look at how you can deepen your relationships, how you can identify people that are right or wrong for you, how you can communicate your truth and your creative expression, and anchor that divine love into harmony in your relationships. You can heal your mind, your body, your spirit, right? You can support yourself and others through transitional periods in your life. So this is the theme for week number 3. So let's take a look at the cards and see what's coming up here for you. Okay, so we have the Ten of Wands. It seems that something from the past is going to be coming up, okay? Because it fell out sideways, but it's facing the back, right? So there's going to be an old struggle or burden that comes up with past relationships. A cycle that you're saying, I have chosen that I deserve better. I have chosen not to play around when it comes to my relationships, the people that I love. If I say I'm going to show up for someone, I'm going to show up for someone, but also I deserve the same thing in return. The relationships that are all about the other person and never about you. Those are the ones where you're saying, you know what, I'm not playing with myself anymore. I'm not playing with other people. You haven't been playing, but maybe you're around people who play, right? It's kind of the energy of you're not playing games. You love yourself. You made the choice a long time ago to maybe you did a vow of chastity, right? Maybe you chose to be more upfront about your boundaries. Maybe you chose to learn some psychology so that you can identify red flags better and you can work on red or yellow flags within yourself. Here we have a little bit of this energy of you choosing not to fall for the version of you that might say, yeah, but if I just understand a little bit more, if I just have a little bit more compassion, then maybe because they won't. And if they do, it's because they're seeing where you will sacrifice for yourself, where your self boundaries are, where your self-respect is, where that line is. Okay? So I'm not going to lie, the first little bit of August, well, the second and beginning of the third week of August, they might test you a little bit, but you already know the answer. These are things you've already learned. And this is also going to be, again, I'm getting something about with your inner child and this parental energy here. This is about you expressing and being heard. And when you are heard, when you express yourself, it helps everybody around you. And so, we have this theme of if somebody doesn't want help, then you can't possibly help them. If someone wants to stay stuck, you can't possibly move them. You can lead a horse to water, but you cannot make it drink. And if the horse refuses to acknowledge that water exists in the first place, you're wasting your time trying to convince them because it's right in front of their face. So, the third week of August for you. Group number 1. Okay, we have you giving love to yourself so much. So much. We have you being gentle with yourself, kind to yourself. We have you loving your enemies. We have you loving your enemies without self-sacrificing. We have you, I'm hearing being verbally appropriate with your boundaries. We have you setting boundaries. We have you expressing to people, hey, I see what you're doing and I'm not partaking in that. I understand if you need space to grow and to heal, and that's great, but I'm not the one. Okay? With love. We see you being soft in your expression, but firm with your boundaries. We also see you choosing to uproot something. So this decision that you made at the end of the second week, we see you really saying, you know what, no, I'm going to uproot this. So this is when you don't decide to end the relationship, but it's when you do. It's when you don't decide to close out the job that you're in, but it's when you actually leave the job. Okay, it's when you put in your 2 weeks or you insert your letter of recommendation. Uprooting something because you understand that falling for potential or falling for a dream it's not worth it if there's no substance there, if there's nothing there to back it up. But with the harmony in your relationships, you're understanding how to be the most graceful, loving, kind, compassionate version of yourself in these situations that honestly don't deserve to even be around you. And so there's that duality there that you're coming into balancing. So let's see what events you can look forward to the third week of August here. Group number 1, there are definitely 5 weeks in August, so that was my bad. If you're looking at the first and the second, which I was, okay, so that's my bad. So let's see, this is the third week. I have it all my notes written down over here, and I misread them because I was talking while I was counting. Okay. Okay, so you can actually expect liberation. You can expect yourself to feel loved and supported. You can expect peace in your home, but you can also expect a little bit of back and forth energy here. We have a decision here about transformation. Okay. Now, in this situation, hypothetically, whatever this is, you choose to leave because this vibe, this dynamic, this energy, absolutely the F not. No. You know better. You're a good person. You're kind. You're compassionate. You're loving. Unconditional love does not mean unconditional tolerance for BS. So, bye. However, you are met with this, okay, I knew I was doing that on purpose, it came out of blah, 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 blah. So what if we create and cultivate a happy, beautiful, wonderful space together? And there's this energy of, like, will they, won't they, push, pull that's coming through. Specifically with relationships as well. Now you're going to be called at this point in time to begin to reflect about an old relationship that was existent in your childhood, maybe between your parents or between you and one of your parents, or something that you saw a lot in your childhood. The way that something started versus the way that it ended up, but it took a surprising turn in a positive direction. And so there's going to be some sort of indication that that is possible in this connection, in this job, in this situation for you. But you have the choice. Do you choose to believe that it's probable, not just possible, but probable? And do you choose to love yourself and the other party so much that you stick around waiting to find out. Dun dun dun. Either way, it's about transformation for you. So the advice that would be coming through here based upon this energy, and for me, okay, would be choose, yes, what feels the most like it's honoring you. And see if that aligns with, or choose what feels like it will transform the most. Where the most transformation within you in a positive direction could exist. And if that opportunity for transformation, for growth, aligns with what feels like it resonates with you and is in authenticity with you, then make that decision. Okay? Again, we have this energy of what would other people think? Other people could talk about it. At the end of the day, if I have a decision, I have to go tell my best friend that I broke up with them. I have to go tell my best friend that I'm giving him another chance. I have to tell my parents whatever it is here. Okay? You're being encouraged to silence all of that. Listen to yourself. Where is the opportunity for transformation? Where's an opportunity for love and self-alignment, authenticity? And not only is it possible, but is it probable? Okay? So, taking a look at week number 4 here. Week number 4 here is focused on diligence and service. This is the general astrological theme for the 4th week. I'm going to move these cards a bit. I moved all the cards up and out of frame, so I didn't put them back into the deck. For those of you who are curious, okay, I do still have them out. So the theme, the general astrological theme for the 4th week of August is diligence and service. So this looks at habits you can embrace for you to grow, how you can manifest abundance through serving others. It looks at how you can step into your power, even connecting with nature and abundance and releasing past burdens, all of these things, how you can have more mercy for yourself, how you can connect with judging things accurately, right? Diligence and service, right? Where needs your help and where doesn't? Where could use your help and what doesn't? Where, if you helped, they would even receive it, regardless of whether or not they need it, so on and so forth. Where are you valued? And where you are valued, are you showing up there? Are you showing up there consistently? Are you showing up there diligently? How are you taking steps for yourself that are in alignment with yourself and also in service? And this would be where I would recommend taking a look at the theme of Dharma. I do have a guided meditation on finding your Dharma, connecting with it in your spiritual space with your higher self. That is in the first link in the description box if you want to follow along with that. Okay, so let's see week number 4 of August for group 1. Week number 4. So we have the 2 of Cups. So we have you feeling like you're in alignment. We have actually a really positive support system. It's like a weight is lifted off your shoulders here, which is interesting. I'm getting that this is sooner than you thought it would be. Okay, we do have a fresh start here after a healthy, happy conversation, or something moves in a positive direction. Positive growth is what I'm getting. You're realizing that you do have a lot of options, and you being in the awareness that you have a lot of options makes whatever is in front of you seem a lot more enticing. It's kind of, you know, when you are in a situation and you're like, I need this job to work out. I really, really need this to go in my favor. It's like, it's giving, I can't afford to get sick right now, so you get sick. It's giving, I can't afford to lose this job, so you're working really, really hard. And it's that energy that's kind of like, because you need it, the energy a little bit is like, like not the best that it could be. This is the flip side of that. So this is the energy where you're aware, you're like, well, I have 5 other job options, so I'm going to see if I like this job. Well, I have 5 other romantic options. Let me see if I like this person instead of if they like me, okay? And so because you are more detached, because you're aware that, well, you can go any other direction and be perfectly happy and content. You don't need whatever's going on around you to remain for you to know that you can maybe build yourself back up, to know that you have a good support system, to know that you are doing what's meant to be, you're in divine alignment. For some of you, it might look a little bit like, well, what's meant for me will never pass me up. I know that everything happens for a reason, at the right place, at the right time, etc. For some of you, it's a little bit like, you know what, like, I can't enjoy being in a relationship with this person because I know that I have other options and that I don't even need to be in a relationship in the first place. I'll be happy no matter what. So it allows you to experience appreciation a little bit more because you don't feel like I need this to work out, right? So we have this theme here for you about you realizing you have been in service. So this is where the general theme kind of gets a little more specific for you, group 1. This is talking about diligence and service, and there is this awareness. You've been in diligence, you've been in service, and it was either overlooked, or you were just having faith that it would get appreciated at some point. It would get seen maybe later down the line. You're like, you know what? No sweat. Things happen in divine timing. But realizing that now there's something about collaboration, about team building here. We have coming together. You've been in service to a situation where it's supposed to be 50-50. You're carrying a whole team. So now you're asking, how can I be of service? How can I be of service? And the answer is, group one, you have been, to the point where you were sacrificing yourself, or to the point where you were even taking on karma for other people, if that's something you believe in or resonate with, or to the point where you were even trying to save people from learning the lessons that they needed to learn to grow. Group number one, sometimes the kindest thing that you can do for something or somebody that you love, it's tell them, hey, I see you going in this direction, or like one day you'll thank yourself for not giving up, right? But also sometimes the kindest thing you can do for someone is let them face the consequences of their own actions. And so we have this awareness that comes through you, not through a conversation that happens this week, but rather from your embodiment of, you know what, you embody that in yourself. It's giving you practice what you preach. You don't need to preach it, right? But you're around. And so if someone wants you to be of service, you're not just around because they want you there. You're around because you want to be there. And there are other places you want to be too, so you're not tripping. So this week, the theme for you is coming together. It's teamwork. There is a new beginning, a fresh start in an area of life here. We have a spiritual awakening and growth for you. We have an awakening of consciousness for you. And we have you also, inviting in a new kind of communication, maybe technique or effort, or you're speaking in a new language or something like this. And as you saw, a kitten just jumped onto the cards, and that can be something like animal communication or animal reiki that comes up, animal sound healing, sound baths, or something like this, connecting with animal signs or something like this. But I also want to mention here specifically, we spoke about a different language. Maybe it's a different language, like a different energetic language, or a literal different language. It can also be you like translating things into a way that, it's the way that you would organically say it, not the way that you think someone else would receive it better. However, this kitten has an unusual factor. Her name is in a different language than my first language. And so that's something that wanted to come up too. So that can be significant for you, like an emphasis on the different language thing. Okay. So let's take a look at events that can occur for you during the 4th week of August. Okay. You're going to find someone or something putting in the work. Seriously, showing up for you, standing on business. I'm getting putting their money where their mouth is, but in a way where there is intent, there is integrity, and I'm kind of picking up on some sort of maybe communication about what the intentions are here. So it's a little bit less, oh yeah, just see how you do, and then maybe you'll get promoted, you never know, so just work your little butt off, right? Or a little less of, well, you should just know that I love you, regardless of how I treat you, and so that should just be enough for you. Why do you want too much, right? It's giving, actually, the situation here is someone saying, hey, these are my goals, these are my plans, here is your promotion trajectory. Here are the milestones, here are the steps, here are dates I can give you, here are dates. Here's something tangible. You can hold this, you can deal with this. This is legitimate. This is reciprocity. There's some sort of a realization here. You're going to be noticing that someone invests in you. I'm also getting some sort of more financial comfort or some sort of financial flow that occurs as well. It can be that you launch a project and this project starts picking up like consistency in your finances. It can be as well that maybe you invest into something and that starts to come back around for you, or it can just be that your finances flow a little more easily. You find like, oh, okay, like money, it's like water, right? And so when you allow it to flow one way, it also flows the other way. Like, so if I spend money, then I can make money because I'm not keeping it stagnant. It can be that kind of theme as well. But event-wise, we're looking at some sort of financial flow in the sense, emphasis on the flow part, and also a little bit of a reciprocal energy where there's an awareness that you've been doing all of the labor in a situation. And so now I'm getting like what is indebted to you, it's being paid. Okay. You're also receiving intentions. You are also going to be standing on business. You're going to be feeling abundant. You're going to be feeling on top of on top of your physical health in your body, on top of your financial situation, on top of your home, on top of all situations in your life, you are getting that crown put on your head again. It's kind of giving somebody over the first few weeks of August, or just in general, was trying to take the dunce cap off of their head and knock your crown off your head and put their dunce cap on your head. But your aura wouldn't allow it. Your guides wouldn't allow it. Your energy wouldn't allow it. Heck, you wouldn't allow it. And so someone's putting the dunce cap on their head, allowing you to keep your crown as though you need it, and saying, I can wear my own crown, and I've been choosing not to. It's looking like accountability. It's looking like teamwork. It's looking like, finally, it's looking like somebody realizes that they're not who they said they are. They weren't acting the way that they were telling themselves that they were. It's giving, if you don't work out, you're not gonna have a six-pack. And this person is like, no, like, I'm not working out, but I should have a six-pack. Okay, that's not how it works. It's like, you're not even getting cool sculpt, bro. Okay, so it's something like this. Okay, so an event like this is going to manifest materially. So somebody might give you a gift, but it's giving you a gift that in some way equals accountability, responsibility, a promise, a timeline, something that you can touch, hold, see, schedule, intentions, okay? So, the final week of August, week number 5, this is about reflection and preparation. So this is looking at, what do you need to release? What is your next big life chapter? This is looking at perhaps past life things. This is looking at unlocking your inner knowledge, realizing, wait, I did learn this. I've gone through all these lessons. Now you're activating it. You're not walking through it. You're like, oh, I've gone through that lesson. So now I'm in the next level. It's kind of giving this. It's giving reflect, reset, reorganize, prepare. Okay? So let's see what this looks like for you. Group number 1, Six of Swords reversed. So it looks like you are choosing to embark on a new journey that is fair for you. It's fair for you. You've been focusing on yourself during the month of August. And now you're kind of used to that. You've got some sort of schedule, some routine, some sort of comfort going. So now you have a little bit of extra confidence, a little bit of extra strength, a little bit of extra tenacity here. You're recognizing areas where you were asking for external intervention, external guidance, where what needed to happen was maybe a mindset shift on your end, or some action on your end, or responsibility on your end. And you're looking at this objectively. You're looking at times in the past where you already learned this lesson, and you're going, no, I'm going to show up for myself. I'm showing up for myself. There's also, we have 2011 here, so that year can be significant. What were you doing in 2011? What did that look like for you? Also 2015, maybe that time frame, 2011 to 2015, can be significant during this week. We have you taking yourself out on dates. We have you romancing yourself. We have you in your gratitude journal. We have you loving yourself. We have you romancing yourself, basically, which is really beautiful. We also have you awakening spiritually. So an aspect of this is maybe you're rolling out the yoga mat. Maybe you're giving yourself Reiki. Maybe you are meditating more. You're doing your pranayama, right? It's giving this. I'm hearing dhyana as well, okay? So the fifth and last week of August here for you, it looks like you realizing that it is fair for you to start a new journey, to embark on a new journey, open up a new chapter, or continue to take a pin out of one that you put a pin in, because you're more than enough. You have more than enough. You're more than capable. It's more than possible. You have more than enough in order to make something occur, to achieve it. And you're kind of looking at maybe past excuses. It doesn't need to be excuses. It can also be wounds. We have the inner child energy coming out too. So it can be past wounds, limiting beliefs that were taught to you from your parents, or that you kind of absorbed during childhood, things that you learned. You learn maybe you're supposed to be seen and not heard, for example. Or you're learning that not to dream too big, because God forbid you have dreams and reach them, right? So it can be something like this, that you're saying, you know what, I've done this before, I'm going to do it again. You see this come up not as a blockage or a boundary, but you see this coming up as, It's so beautiful to look at this and no longer resonate with it. And you release it, and you give yourself an act of self-love. To look at, wow, I used to be so insecure about my body and not be very nice to it mentally. And you go, how nice not to resonate with that. And you take a bite of a big old pain au chocolat. That's the energy that it's giving. It's this realizing how far you've come, and now the action, because it aligns with you. Okay? We do have a lot of spiritual energy here. The last week of August, it's going to be impactful for you, but in a way where it's something you realize when you look back on it later. Because this looks like you taking a pin out of a project, and that project ends up being something that was iconic for you in the scope of your life. It ends up you being faithful and honest and strong and fair to yourself in a way that you continue to look back and say, I'm so glad that I did that. And it's an act of self-love. So let's look at events this week for you to look out for. Okay, so we've got a few things. Kitty's coming up again to say hello. We've got some energy here that wants to get more playful and rested at the same time. Chew on my notebook. Yeah, that's better. So this is letting me know you can be, maybe you're dream journaling, maybe you're keeping a journal, maybe you're getting more organized, you're pulling out that planner, you are writing, you're organizing, whatever it is that can be significant. Okay, we have some Gemini coming out in the beginning for your general theme of August. So it can be a little bit of this expression, communicating to yourself, communicating about yourself, advocating for yourself is an important thing, right? So we have this. This is self-advocation through action, except this time you are preparing, you're reflecting, you are releasing, you're navigating, you're manifesting. I also want to let you know that the last week of August is going to be a wonderful time for you to start manifesting, especially towards the end of the last week of August. So that second half of the last week of August, okay, those last few days, those are going to be the days for you to really manifest or do a ritual or whatever it is that you like to do out here, okay? So we have Four of Wands in reverse, Six of Cups, and Two of Pentacles. So event-wise, we have you revisiting a place that is not your home, that you haven't been to in a while. We have you trying to get out of the home more. We have you trying to break some sort of pattern or routine that is going on in your home because you want to ground something different. And it doesn't have to be bad. It might be that you're reorganizing the way you go about your day. Maybe your yoga practice is inside your home and you want to bring it into a studio. Maybe you spend your free time at home watching TV or meditating. Maybe you want to go to the movies and meditate at the park. Maybe you want to go for a walk. Maybe you want to prioritize going outside instead of staying in. So it's kind of giving a little bit of this, okay? There's also a bit of a vibe where you're looking back at the past and some sort of density that occurred in the home space for you. And you're again recognizing that that no longer exists in your life, in your reality, in your energy field, and we have this coming to your awareness and you choosing to release that energy existing in the experiential realms, not in the material kind of, you can touch it, material experience, but in the sense where it's still coming up in your thoughts, it's still coming up as a belief, it's still coming up as something that you're used to energetically. So we have you cleansing that out. Some of you who are into things like, are there holes in your aura, or where are there leaks in your aura, or things like that, this is going to be a time for you to cleanse, charge, and kind of like puff out that aura a little bit, cleanse, seal, those kind of things, if that's your flavor and language of spirituality during this time, okay? So we have a lot of this going on. We've got some self-reflection. Event-wise, I'm seeing somebody sitting with their hand on their heart and doing some intentional inner child connection. So it might be that you are at a sound bath or you do your own. You are sitting at a yoga mat, you're having an intentional moment, you're meditating. You just take a few minutes with yourself internally, reflecting, things like this. We are really giving a spiritual reset energy here and a little bit of reminiscing, a little bit of reflecting, but infusing this with unconditional love. So we're seeing transmutation happen in real life, but now we see that what's in front of your face is now the transmuted version of everything that you've worked so hard to manifest, to transmute, to heal, to grow, to evolve. We still have just a little birdie whispering, but what if the old in your ear? And now you're saying, this isn't what's in front of my face. For so long, group number 1, you chose to believe what you didn't see. Now, that is what you see. And you're choosing to believe what's right in front of your face because you are the one that put it there. not somebody else. And that is healing the inner child for you. We're going to pull now some advice for you for the month of August. Again, trying to get out of the house. We see you going out with someone old. Okay, not old in age, okay, but someone you've known for a long time, someone that you haven't seen in a long time. We have you going to a place you haven't gone in a long time, something like this, okay, leaving the house. So advice for you for August. Okay, focus on your foundation, okay, focus on your routine, focus on things like making sure you're showing up for your meditation and your exercise and getting food and showing up for your bag, okay? Little things are going to be, don't take days of work off because somebody wants to hang out with you and they're cute and they want to take you on a date. It's going to be things like, don't overdo yourself at work because somebody else decided to quit or they didn't want to take their shifts on and you're just the go-to person to pick up all the extra shifts. It's going to be, don't ignore your intuition when what your intuition is telling you and what's in front of your face, they're aligning. But there's a version of you that's like, but what if, okay? Because there's some sort of paradigm shift or realization that you've had. For example, if you see somebody's phone and their ex is texting them and your intuition is like, they don't have good intentions for you, but they're telling you, right? No, like you saw it wrong. And you're like, no, I just want to believe the best in this person, right? So your intuition and what's in front of your face, they're saying the same thing. So don't ignore your intuition. I'm not getting really something like that concrete for you, but it's just something like this, okay? What you've worked hard to manifest internally, okay, what you've worked hard to acquire in your intuition and your connection to spirit, it's now exactly what's in front of your face, okay? So with that, you're going to notice as well other people who aren't in alignment like that trying to, get you off your rocker. And also your mind can create your reality, so if they can get you to think a certain way, then maybe you can act a certain way and then that'll go with what they want you to do, right? No. Nope. So we're looking at avoiding that like a bat out of hell, okay? And we're also looking at spiritual development in little ways, in nice ways, in sweet ways. August is going to be that month. We're going to want to, you're going to want to maybe drive to that sound bath, okay? August is the month where you're going to want to book that massage. It's going to be the month where you're going to want to take that Tai Chi class, or you're going to want to show up on your yoga mat. It's going to be the month where you're going to want to book a reading, or you're going to want to look at the transits, or you're going to want to book the Reiki or something like this. That's going to be August for you. Okay, so those are your pieces of advice here. Group number 1, I hope this helped shed love, light, and clarity for you. I hope you have an amazing August 2025. At this point in time, I'm offering personals. If you want to meditate with me, you can join my 21-day guided meditation retreat you have access to forever once you sign up. It's the first link in the description box below. If you want to find my decks, books, journals, crystals, candles, I have a spiritual store. It's on Etsy at Spiritualistik. That's also where you're going to find personals. The links to all of those things will be in the description box as well. If you want more exclusive content, I do have a members-only page here on YouTube and also one on Patreon. You can follow me, of course, on TikTok. I have a subscribers-only platform on there as well. And you can follow me on Instagram too. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I love you. I'm grateful for you. And I'll see you next time. Namaste. Hi there, Group 2. Namaste, and welcome to your reading. Today we're looking at August 2025 for you, and you selected the second group with the fully integrated card. Group number 2, I'm really getting a spiritual vibe from this pile specifically. It seems as though in August 2025, you are taking all of the things that you've learned, maybe different lessons. It can be skills that you've acquired, energies that you have mastered, lessons, right? But you are integrating these things into your life. You're learning how to apply them, which is really beautiful. So we're also getting here a theme of self-love as well as confidence, which I love to see here. We're going to take a look at the astrology dice and we're going to see what just a general theme for you is going to be 2025. We're going to take a look at that. And then we're going to go week by week. I have this organized into 5 weeks. The day that this goes up, meaning 1, I know it's Friday, but today's August 1st. So we're going to do this week, August 1st and 2nd, and then second week being the 3rd through the 9th, so on and so forth. So we're going to do 5 weeks here. So generally, August 2025 for group 2. So it seems as though you are having more confidence in your path. And with this, you're also moving towards your path a little more, with a little more tenacity, okay? It also seems as though you are going to be feeling, like you're really going to be feeling yourself. We are getting Leo, it is Leo season. So you're also going to notice here that you're feeling confident, you're feeling sexy, you're feeling like you walk into a room and all eyes are on you. Maybe you are feeling a little bit like you are just glowing. You walk into a room and your aura is just magnificent. You're feeling beautiful. I'm being shown hair, like Leo hair, for those of you that know, that kind of vibe. Your hair is going to be looking great. Your energy is going to be shining. I'm getting a lot of smiles for you as well, but you're also going to be on top of things, which is going to be where a lot of this confidence comes from. You're going to be feeling like you're loving yourself. You're going to be feeling confident that you're moving in the right direction in life, especially with your career and creative pursuits. And you're also going to be feeling like you're on top of things. I want to notice as well, we have this Virgo here. And this Virgo energy is letting me know, especially with the number 10, that you're going to feel like you are organized, you're on top of everything, and you might be feeling like, not like you need to be a perfectionist, not in the essence where you're picking yourself apart or anything like this, but rather in the sense where you are like, yeah, I'm on top of things. Like, I'm doing this right, I'm doing this well, I'm happy with my work, it takes little to no effort on my end, I know what I'm doing, I'm confident in it, and I look good doing it, which is really beautiful. I love this. There's also a little bit of this, I'm also getting self-advocacy, which is coming up, which is really important. So with the Virgo, with the Mars here, this is indicating a little bit of maybe that stubborn energy, a little bit of that I'm right energy, a little bit of that perfectionism energy. Virgo sometimes in their perfectionism, whether they're right or not, they need to be right. So they could be wrong, but they refuse to accept it. Right. Also, they could be right because they love to study. They love to learn. They're also known to be the healer, right? It's the zodiac sign of the Hermit in tarot. So with that being said, you're going to be in a place where in August 2025, you know that you've done the work. You know that you self-reflected, but you're also going to be really passionate about that self-advocacy. Kind of like, well, I actually know for a fact that I'm right, and that's okay. If you don't agree with my fact because of your opinion, that's totally cool, but it's not going to knock me off my rocker. It's going to keep me balanced, right? We're not getting an arrogant way. We're not getting like a defensive way. We're not getting a stubborn way where you could or could not be right, but you're just going to hang on to that anyway. It's a little bit more, no, I've done the work. I'm showing up. I love myself. I know what I'm worthy of. I know that I'm worthy of love and all things good in this life. I know, like, for an example, I know that I know tarot, right? So if someone else is like, well, I just feel like, that's great. You can feel however you want, but I know that I know tarot. It's kind of an energy like this, okay? So but it's in this confident energy. It's not in the sassy energy. With the Mars, you're feeling passionate about it. You're maybe feeling sexy about it. You might be feeling like, yeah, like I can do things really well. Like I'm on top of my stuff. Look at me. I'm running. Look at me. I'm exercising. Look at me. I'm doing my skincare. Like, yeah, I'm awesome. Look at me being awesome. So it's a little bit of this energy. So I love it for you. And this is actually coming from not just this misguided confidence or a random, you wake up one day and boom, everything's magical. Rather, this is because of a slow journey that you've been walking in the right direction in order to get there. And it's beautiful. You're going to find a lot of attention on you. And it's also because at this point in time, you are realizing how much you have applied what you've learned, how much you have learned, how much you have grown, how much you have applied it. And now it's kind of occurring to you. You're realizing, wait, I've really grown that much. Wait, I've really done that much. I've learned that much. I've grown that much. I've applied that much. Look at where I am. Look at where I am. It's like it almost hits you. So it's gorgeous energy. So we're going to go week by week now for August. We're going to take a look at like basically this weekend, and then we're going to get into, I'm calling that week 1, and then we're going to get into week 2. Okay. So before we get into it, there are a few things I want to go over with you, group number 2. 1, this is a really long reading. It's a lot longer than the ones that I usually give. So if you want to put the speed up so it's a little faster, you can do that. If you want to save this for a time where you are taking a bath or a nice long walk, or you are cleaning your house and you've got a little extra time to listen, then do that. This might be the kind of reading where you want to pull out a notebook because it might just help things be a little bit easier for you. And of course, like, comment, and subscribe if you would like to. So I want to go over the general astrological themes for each week of August before we get into your reading. So the first week, okay, so this weekend, the theme here, generally, it'll relate to everyone's chart individually. It's new beginnings and self-expression. See, this is why we might want a notebook or something like this. Save it for later. Week number 2, the 3rd through the 9th. The general astrological theme for everybody is practicality and grounding. So this week we're looking at grounding your goals, steps to achieve them, unlocking ancient wisdom within you. We're taking a look at maybe geometry, patterns, things like this. We're taking a look at grounding your spiritual gifts. We're taking a look at grounding your manifestations. We're taking a look at practicality and grounding of all of the spiritual things. This is new beginning, okay? This is not number 1, it's number 2. It's giving Taurus energy a little bit, okay? So the next week number 3, kind of, okay, the 10th through the 16th, the theme here, it's harmony and relationships, and harmony in your relationships, harmony with yourself. So this is going to be the week where you're taking a look at deepening your relationships, maybe how you can find your soulmate, things like that. That's a great week for readings like this if you are a content creator too. It's communicating your truth and creative expression. It's finding that divine love that we seek within us, apart from outside in other people, friendships, platonic, romantic relationships, harmony in your relationships, your friends, your family, all that kind of stuff. We're looking at healing your mind, body, spirit, and we're looking at also how you can support yourself through transitions, because now you're in the active stages of a new beginning where things are going to start changing for you, and you want to have harmony in those relationships. Who's supporting you? Who's staying? Who's leaving? Who are you supporting? Things like that. What boundaries do you need? So it's going to be a kind of energy like this, harmony in relationships, okay? So week number 4, which is going to be the 17th through the 23rd. And so this diligence and service theme takes a look at how you can embrace different habits to grow. This is looking at how to manifest abundance through service, how you can become abundant through service. It's giving, in giving we receive, okay? It's stepping into your power. It's connecting with nature and the abundance of nature and the abundance that is omnipresent all the time, and realizing that, but through service, how nature is abundant because it serves. There's symbiotic ecosystems, that kind of vibe. We're looking at releasing past burdens so that we can continue to move forward on this path now that we're a little bit into a new chapter. We're looking at things like mercy. We're looking at things like judgment. We're looking at things like diligence. We're looking at things like, is it fair to be more disciplined, or is it fair to cut myself some slack? What about the people around me? Okay, so we're in a little bit of that energy too. And also service. How can you be a little bit more compassionate in whatever situations you're facing in your life? The 5th week, or so I'm calling it for this reading, of August, which is going to be the 24th through, I'm just adding the 31st in there for August. The theme here is reflection and preparation. So of course this is reflecting on everything that you've been going through and preparing for that, the changes that have been beginning, but now that new paradigm, it's really kicking in after this week. So the theme of this week with reflection, it's going to look like what to release. What is your next big chapter? It's going to look like your different activations. It's going to be a time for revelations. It's going to be time for reflecting. It's going to be time for reorganizing your home, cleaning out your closet, feng shui, doing a little extra energy work, doing some connections, extra meditations, things like that. So those are going to be the general astrological themes for those weeks of August, and the way that they relate to you individually will be based on your own natal chart and your own spiritual journey. Now we're going to get into the tarot, and we're going to go week by week and see what you can expect energy-wise and event-wise with some advice. So week number 1, let's see what's going to happen this weekend. Week number 1 of August here. We have the King of Swords. Yeah, so it seems like you are self-advocating. You are exploring your options or realizing that you have more options. It seems as though maybe this weekend, say that you're, hypothetically, say you're in a disagreement with somebody, or you've been dealing with something that's been uncomfortable for you for a while. You're going to be in this energy of, no, actually, I was right. Like, you're going to realize that you were right, and you're actually going to advocate for that. So that's showing up as well with the exploring the options. And you're also going to be, learning here as well. I'm getting that there's an observation going, okay? So you are going to be aware. Like, there's something that you felt intuitively, there's something that you knew, there's something that you created, something you learned, something you built, and for whatever reason, there's an energy around you that was asking you to question that. Hey, question your worth. Hey, question what you know. Hey, question your resources. Hey, question your intelligence. Hey, question your intuition, for whatever reason. Now there's this energy of, well, actually, no, I'm not going to question my intuition. Actually, no, I'm not questioning my boundaries. Actually, no, I'm not questioning what is occurring in front of my face where I live and I know about it and you literally don't. So there's a little bit of the self-advocacy coming here, and also exploring options too. For example, well, I don't need to be around people who treat me like that. Or a little bit of, well, if that's not in my life, then what will be? We have a little bit of this healing process going on. For example, say that this is someone that you love, right? And you're like, well, I don't deserve to be treated like that. I don't want to be treated like that. There are other situations I can be in that won't treat me like that. And also, there's a little bit of that whiplash. But we also have this observation, right? It's not giving, fine, F you, I'm done. It's kind of giving, okay, well, I'm right. Okay, like if you, that's okay. I'm going to go over here and you do whatever you're going to do, right? And then you process, you heal, you do the work, but you observe, right? The door's still open. There's no hard feelings, but you're not going to impose someone else's projection or hard feelings or maybe I'm getting like scrutiny or criticism or I'm hearing narcissism or what's that other word that's coming through? It's like pessimism, like onto yourself. You're not going to allow someone else to impose that onto you. And so here you're observing and you're learning. We're also seeing here that you're going to be receiving some rewards for past effort. So you might get something in the mail, you might receive a gift, you might receive a little bit of extra money, something like this, a reward for past effort coming through. Let's see if there's an event to look out for. So we're looking at spending time with loved ones, maybe having fun, going out, playing a little bit. We're seeing with the exploring your options energy with the Three of Cups, we do have a little bit of maybe people flirting with you, or you get another job offer, or someone hints at it. It's giving a little bit more of a hint than something that's super concrete. But it seems to be exactly antithesis to what's going on here, okay? And you are being given an opportunity to build something that you're a master of, okay? That you know you're a master of, that nobody could get you to question in the first place, okay? Not that they did, okay? But it's giving something else, okay? So say that somebody wanted you to question your university education, and you're like, well, I know what I learned. I was there. I did the work, so I'm a little educated on this topic, and you're a little bit not educated on this topic, and that's fine. We can disagree, but you're not going to make me question my whole education, right? This might be something else, okay? Say that you are being given an opportunity to explore your options, and you're like, well, I don't want to be around these kind of people. What if I explore my hobby I've been doing since I was 5 years old? Right? So you're going to know that you're a good crocheter. You're going to know that you're good at playing soccer, right? You're a master here. So you might get a little bit of an opportunity to go out with friends, and they might say, hey, like, so we're doing this, like, pickup league of insert sport, and it would be cool if you want to join or something like this. And you'd be like, yeah, like, I would enjoy that. That feels nice and comfy. I know that I'm good at it. You don't need to be, but you'll feel nice and comfortable there. So it's a little bit of an effort like this. If this is a relationship or something, a friendship, take this romantically, platonically, familially, right? Say that you're like, well, that's my boundary, and maybe we're not talking, or we're fighting, or this is a weird energy right now, but you're aware that you have other options, okay? Not that you're out exploring them, but you're aware, and you're like, I don't want to be hurt like this, it's ridiculous, but you observe what's going on the home front, but you maybe go and you hang out with some friends, or you're going out, doing your thing, and maybe someone does flirt with you and you're like, like, I do got it, right? Someone asks you out a date, right? And it doesn't need to be that you're committing, that you're going for it. It can be that you're introduced to people who you will end up seeing around, and they could end up being a new platonic romantic connection, or it could be that you have an opportunity to see old friends, new friends, family members you haven't seen in a while, etc. So it's kind of looking the other direction, but in the same genre, okay? Let's take a look at week number 2 of August for you. So the second week of August, from the 3rd to the 9th here. So it seems like, of course, there's a little bit of a shakeup here, but I'm being shown the kind of tower where this shows you what's unstable and leaves what is. It's not the kind of thing where you feel like the rug's being pulled out from underneath you. You actually feel that this tower is what's bringing things to solid ground. So this might look like having a difficult conversation. This might look like you realizing that when you advocate for yourself, it's the kindest thing you can do, and you're not gonna stop doing that ever. It might be something like, maybe it's a tower, maybe you have a little, maybe you're having a moment in one area of life and you realize, okay, I really got to show up and start putting forth effort in this area, right? So it can be, hey, I really need to start working out. It can be, hey, I really need to start taking my job more seriously. It can be, hey, I really want to be a better friend, right? So we have a little bit of this tower moment here with the 6 of Swords, 10 of Pentacles. Things end well. I'm not getting that it's that big of a deal, but it's definitely something that could bring up a difficult conversation with yourself or somebody else, okay? The next thing that we're noticing here is that things come into balance. They're happy, they're stable. You're feeling abundant as well. I'm getting you have everything that you need, so you don't really feel like you need anything outside of yourself, which is really beautiful. You feel like things are fair. You feel like things are balanced. And I'm also getting for a very long time, you feel like things are fair, and also that you have now what it takes. You have the extra energy, the extra time, the extra resources to give outside of yourself too, to give to someone else, to give to your friends. Say that this is a romantic connection. It's been taking up all your time, all your energy, and maybe you haven't had that much time or space emotionally, mentally, physically for your friends. Now you're going to feel like, okay, we had that difficult conversation. I know where I stand. This is good. I feel solid. Now you can spend more time with your friends, right? It doesn't need to be that dynamic specifically, but it's kind of giving that kind of energy. Something has a little shakeup, then it finds solid ground. That solid ground is really abundant, really great. Things are balanced. And then you're able to put your energy towards, let's say, 11th house energies, okay? Even self-realization for some of you. You're like, wow, I have time to meditate. It's really nice. Well, I have time to hang out with my friends. It's really nice. I have time to volunteer. How nice. Okay. Let's see, event-wise, second week of August. This week is also going to be abundant for you, but I'm also getting that it's going to be, it's going to feel fair. Like you're going to feel like you're on even playing field with somebody else around you, but in an abundant sense, okay? So say that there's someone else around you who they're always flashing their watch or their jewelry, or they're constantly wanting to show their money, or they're constantly complaining about money, whatever it is, okay? It seems as though you're going to feel like you're on equal playing field with this energy, with some sort of abundance, okay? So, and it's feeling fair and it's feeling positive, okay? So if someone's flashing their watch, you might not say anything or do anything, but you might be like, you know what, my bank account's doing pretty well. Might not say it, but it's going to be the truth and you're going to feel it. So we have a little more confidence coming in for you. Event-wise, with the Five of Pentacles, you're going to be realizing here that there's a door you don't necessarily want to keep open. It seems as though maybe you were keeping it open for someone else. Like you kind of realize, I'm hearing the phrase charity case, okay? So it can be that you were with somebody because you felt bad for them, or because you wanted to heal them or fix them or help them, or something like this. Event-wise, it kind of feels as though there's a little bit of a hiccup. Now the event, it's really going to show up at the beginning of this week. For some reason, I'm getting like Sunday through Wednesday kind of vibes. There's something here that's a little bit uncomfortable. And the main event's going to happen in the beginning. Now the second half of the week, it's going to be like a breeze, but that first half of the week, there's going to be an event that's notable for you that's going to be probably a bit uncomfortable, okay? Pertaining to whatever this tower moment is, I'm getting that you deserve an equal playing field. You also deserve to be treated, like, I'm just getting equality energy. And it's like, it's not just equality if someone treats themselves like crap, then you get treated like crap, and that's equality. It's like you have your boundaries, you know how you want to be treated, and also we're all equal. And that's not debatable. I mean, it can be if that's your opinion, but in fact, that's a fact. It's like that kind of energy coming back around again. So we have this event here that's going to make you a little bit guarded. So it can be that you come to a new decision here during this week. For example, so you have an argument with someone, a particular friend, you find out they're gossiping about you or something like this, right? It doesn't need to be petty. But what it is giving, though, is you realize, okay, well, you're going to do what you're going to do. And, maybe we can hang out, but I'm just not going to tell you my stuff anymore. Or it's giving, hey, well, we can go out on that date still this week, but it's not going to end up leading anywhere. It can be a little bit like, oh yeah, like I'm happy to go to the family event, but I'm going to be showing up at less from now on. So I might as well enjoy where I am right now. It's a little bit of the energy that it's giving the second week. So let's take a look at the third week of August for group number 2. Third week of August for group number 2. You might actually get to go somewhere. I'm getting like a day trip from wherever you live or wherever you are currently. Some sort of a day trip. You might be getting in your car, driving like an hour out, driving to a town or a city that's accessible or something like this. It seems that there's something here that you kind of wanted to do, but you didn't talk about it. Or there's something that someone else wanted to take you to do, but they didn't talk about it. There's an opportunity for you to learn, and I'm being shown like go to the desert. For those of you who have read The Alchemist, you know that that is an analogy that means kind of like exorcism. So if you take someone to, like if someone's like, I want to go to the desert, then that can mean that they want to release negative energy that's around them, or like demons, if you will, because the exorcism vibe, okay, I don't really buy into that too much, but everyone's individual here. So what we do have going on here is the next week of August, you're going to have an opportunity to go on a little trip. Okay, it's going to be something that's for you. It's something that's special. Okay, you might go out on a date and not tell anybody about it. You might hang out with your friends and your other friends don't know about it. You're not trying to be secretive. It's just you realize, hey, everyone doesn't need to know all your business. This kind of goes along with whatever boundary you set the previous week, week number 2. There's a boundary you set here. Now you're honoring it. And as you're honoring it, you kind of more like yourself again. But as you're feeling more like yourself again, there's also a little bit of this energy of you feeling like you're befriending your shadows, because whatever this is, it's not actually a shadow attribute for you. It's just something that was maybe frowned upon. For example, say you're hanging out with your friend, or you have a phone call with your friend, and your romantic partner is like, you can't have friends, or don't talk to that friend, or I don't like that friend, whatever it is. And you're like, well, that's still my friend, right? So it's giving you hang out with that friend, and maybe you're like, I'm doing something bad, but you're not. You're literally not, right? You set that boundary, and now that's how you can exist. It can be something like your parent tells you you can't get a piercing or a tattoo, and you're like, well, I'm an adult, and it's my body and my money, and I'm going to do this anyway, and you don't get to decide what I do with that, okay? And then this is when you go get the piercing, you get the tattoo, and you might be feeling a little bit like, ooh, rebellious, but are you really? No, you're just practicing autonomy in your own life. It's free will. So it's a little bit of this energy here. Let's take a look event-wise at what's occurring this week. Again, day trip. I'm getting some sort of a day trip. 10 of Cups. You're going to be feeling really emotionally fulfilled here. And I'm also really getting some sort of positive energy with people around you. But there's also this, there's this mental release, like, oh, I don't need to worry about that anymore. I finally don't need to worry about that anymore. It was giving me a headache. At the end of the day, it was for no reason. A little bit of this vibe. It's kind of giving that bittersweet. You know when you release something that wasn't serving you, but you were still attached to it. And then when you release it, it feels so good. But there's a little bit of that nostalgia. There's a little bit of that grieving process, right? It's normal, natural. So there's a little bit of an event like this that's coming up. We are seeing that you're releasing some burdens and walking away. You're feeling emotionally fulfilled. Things are really popping off for you. But at the same time, this week you're going to find that your public reputation, you're going to realize how much of yourself you were keeping small. It's like this friend or this family member or this partner, whatever this was, you're realizing, wait, I have all these really wonderful things going on in my life, and I had to hide them. I couldn't tell you what wonderful things were happening in my life. Or you're going to realize you got a promotion at work, and normally that would give you stress, because how do you tell your parent who's already jealous of you? How do you tell your friend that is side-eyeing you and kind of wants your job or kind of wants your partner or whatever it is, right? There's a little bit of this nuance where you're like, finally, I don't need to deal with that anymore. I got a promotion, I can celebrate it. I'm going on a trip, and finally I can celebrate it. I don't need to feel like I need to owe someone else, tell them what I'm doing with my finances, or tell them what I'm doing with all of my time. It's something like this. You're coming out of some sort of control that you did not put yourself under. And with this, you're realizing how much you did hold to yourself, how much you did hold back, whether it's sharing good news, whether it's not going out with your friends, or whether it's not expressing yourself emotionally. It's like you finally just are taking up space and feeling confident. And so there's this 50% like liberation, emotionally fulfilled, feeling like all things are right in the world. You're feeling at peace, you're feeling at home. And then there's this other half of you that's kind of feeling like, geez, I was really letting myself walk through that, right? I can't believe I was letting myself deal with that. So there's a little bit of this peace now that something is over or it's settled. And again, I'm getting some sort of an excursion. Okay. So let's take a look at week number 4, which is going to be the 17th through the 23rd. And the theme for this week is diligence and service. So this is looking at habits that you can embrace so that you grow, manifesting things through service of others, stepping into your power, connecting with nature, abundance, releasing burdens, things like this. So this 4th week for you, it's a little bit like, it's giving active. This is looking like you becoming a little more involved or active in your community. And we're also noticing here that there's something here about your reputation. It's like of coming out of your shell a little bit. So it can be that maybe you're hanging out with your neighbors a little bit more. Maybe you are beginning or planning to begin to become more involved in your community. Maybe you're connecting with people, groups, book clubs. Maybe you are going out to a new yoga studio, you're hanging out with your neighbors a bit more, you're becoming more active in your community. In some way, you're posting on social media more, perhaps. It's also giving that like discipline, but not in a restrictive way. It's giving showing up more a little bit, working on your foundation. So it might be that you are hitting the gym every single day. It might be that you're showing up for work a little bit more. It might be that you are expressing yourself a little bit better. And so there's a little bit of this warning here, though, not to become too attached to the action, okay? To remind yourself to rest and to receive as well. I'm also getting as well to make sure that with the events of the first part of August here for you, just to make sure that you are not using these as escapism techniques, right? Because you can show up and you can be diligent, you can commit yourself to showing up for yourself, you can serve others, you can volunteer, right? You can focus on getting the bag. All these things are really nice, okay? But make sure that it's not like compensating for something else in your life that you are not wanting to deal with or face or process, okay? Or make sure that you're not starting negative habits with it, right? Like make sure that you're not taking pre-workout every single day before you go to the gym, because over the long run, you're not going to want that habit, right? Make sure that if you are like, I'm so motivated to work, I have a ton of energy, I just have my social battery, it's 11 out of 10, it's beautiful. My work battery, it's 11 out of 10. I'm just going to show up, I'm going to work, I'm going to wake up, I'm going to work, and then I'm going to work until I go to sleep, and I'm just going to show up and I'm going to hustle. Whatever it is that's like this, okay? Make sure that you are not creating a habit that's negative. Make sure that you're making a point to make sure that you're giving yourself your food, the rest that you need, because those kind of things can carry over, right? You know, when you have one like negative night of sleep, it takes 2 more days to recover from that. It's kind of like when you work out, your muscles are sore, it takes a few days to recover from that, right? The recovery period is important. And when you're feeling really motivated, when you're feeling really of service, when you're feeling like you've got extra energy, use that extra energy by all means, of course. But at the same time, you're being encouraged to just remind yourself that those are the moments where you might need to heal or recover from later. Stay balanced in the long scheme of things, okay? For my ladies out there, those who resonate with having a menstrual cycle in any way, okay, this might be a good opportunity for you to take a look at your cycle, do some cycle tracking, and see where you can do nice things for yourself in some parts of your cycle when you have more energy, but at the same time not push yourself during certain times so that it doesn't catch up with you later, okay? And the same thing goes for everybody. I just wanted to mention that because I felt called to it in that moment. Let's see events for you this week of August. Okay, you're really feeling on top of it. Okay, you're feeling, I'm hearing that song, I'm Too Sexy for My Shirt. I don't know why. I'm being shown like Prince Charming from Shrek. Okay, so you're feeling a little bit, like you're feeling goofy, you're feeling confident, you're feeling like the Emperor energy, you're feeling really on top of it. But 7 of Swords, there's a little bit of this, is this nostalgia? You feel as though you've had all of these resources here in front of you for a long time. You've had all of these friends, you haven't been talking to them or hanging out with them. You feel like you have all of this creative inspiration. You haven't been acting on it. You feel like you've had all of these resources. You haven't been using them. You feel like you have all of this something and you haven't been using them. So there's a little bit of this that comes up. Now the Emperor with the 7 of Swords combination here, it's a little curious. I do want to pull one more card. So yeah, this is referencing to kind of what I thought it was. There is this struggle about stability that's showing up here, which is saying that you might feel so good one day. Like, for example, say that you spend one day working so hard. You're having a wonderful day. Maybe you're working hard in the gym, you're working hard on a painting, you're working hard on your business, whatever it is, you spend one day working really hard. You feel so on top of it, but then the next day you're like, why did I do that to myself? Oh my God, why did I do that to myself? I feel like crap. Right? It can also be something where you are, say that you've got a little extra abundance and you're having a wonderful time and you're like, I'm going to treat myself. I'm going to go get the fanciest massage I can possibly find at the Ritz, right? You go, you get a massage, you buy yourself something nice and you're like, I deserve this. This is awesome. And then you kind of have a financial hangover from it a little bit because you're like, well, okay, why did I do that? Okay, I just was happy that I had all of this and my first instinct was to go put it outside of myself. We're also seeing here that there's this circling back around energy. You might find that there's a little birdie on your shoulder, maybe someone in your life who's maybe not necessarily fully on your team. That is something that you're going to be seeing now. Okay, so we're having a little bit of an event where, say that you're doing really, really well, and that friend of yours who, they will chastise you if you don't show up for them for their important events, but they're not there for you for any. It's about the face, not about the spirit. Not about the love, right? The friend or the person that's really controlling over your life, whatever it is. There's like this energy here that's showing up where when you stand in your power, someone wants to sabotage it or someone has a problem with it, okay? There's a little bit of this vibe of it's your birthday, so someone's going to make sure to keep you up all night the night before, arguing with you so that you can feel like crap on your birthday. It's like they ruin the whole day, but you can't then say, oh, you ruined my whole day, because then it's like, well, you're in charge of your own emotions. It's something like this. We have this showing up as kind of an event here. I also want to say, with the Five of Wands, this can honestly indicate some sort of a battle that has no, it's like people are fighting just to fight. There's no outcome. Nobody wins in this kind of a battle. It's like they're fighting for something that's on the other side of the world. Like what they're fighting for, it's not even present. So it's a little bit of this just precautionary energy. We're seeing an event like this where someone wants to fight just to fight, or somebody wants to ruin an event just so that the attention's not on you. We see you doing really, really well. We see you focusing. We see you thriving. We see you building. We see you networking. We see you learning, again, integrating what you've learned in the past, feeling inspired. We see you dabbling a little bit in some of those rebellious energies, remembering, week number 2, maybe you got your ears pierced. Remembering week number 2, okay, maybe you went out on maybe you went and hung out with those friends that ex of yours didn't like. Whatever it is, we have a little bit of that energy coming up. But with that, there's also a smidge of this vibe where whatever it is, there was not going to be a winner. Okay, it's kind of giving, I don't want to just throw that word out there, but like narcissistic tendencies a little bit. There might be someone around you who maybe they're not a whole narc, but they might have some tendencies or something like this, where you literally can't say anything to them because if they did something, no, they didn't. But if they did, then there's a reason for it, and the reason's your fault. And if it was, then it was, like, if they did something, no, they didn't. And then if they did, then it wasn't that bad. And if it was, then it's your fault for feeling that way. And then if it's not, then it's just your fault in general that it happened. Like, it's kind of giving that. Okay, there's no winning. So there's kind of this, you're in your power, and then someone here is like having a problem with it. They want to try to distract you. Okay, and so we're also taking a look here at, on the other side of this, this can look like little small subconscious habits that might kind of self-sabotage in a similar way. Maybe not so dramatic, maybe not so dense of an energy, but it can also be something like aforementioned. Say that you get a nice little bonus paycheck. Now this nice little bonus paycheck, you are like, yay, now I can finally afford that bag. I can finally afford that vacation. I can do that. And so you take that whole bonus and then it's gone. And then you're back at square one. And maybe you have that purse, maybe you have that vacation, maybe you have those singing bowls, right? But you're back at square one. It's like you have the abundance and then you just immediately give it away because you're not comfortable holding it. So this is a little bit of a precautionary energy towards that, whether it's from the inside out or the outside in. Okay. So taking a look at the last week of August here, theme of reflection and preparation here. We feel as though you're not going to be feeling like you need to receive much more. Okay, so this is kind of giving, you're nice and comfortable. Maybe you get your rent paid early this month. Maybe you get your mortgage paid off early this month. Maybe all of your assignments at school, you handed them in early. You're kind of just coasting right now. There's also a little bit of this vibe of you getting to love yourself a little more deeply. You are perhaps pulling out that easel, painting a little bit. You are going for walks. It's giving expression. It's like you're swimming in the ocean if that's what you love to do. You're skateboarding if that's what you love to do. You're painting if that's what you love to do. You are doing things like this because you feel like you're not just on top of everything, but you're actually ahead on everything. And since you feel ahead on everything, likely thanks to the week before, you're going to have more time for yourself to do what you love and to explore that energy. Now, this is going to create some sort of transformation within you and also in the way that you express yourself. You're going to find as well that some sort of nuance you've been receiving with your intuition lately is going to be coming up. Okay, say that you've been through that. Is this anxiety or is this my intuition kind of vibe? Maybe Mercury retrograde, it gets you a little bit. Maybe Neptune retrograde, it gets you a little bit. We're taking a look at this. It's going to be coming up just a smidge. So event-wise, you are going to have a decision to make the last week of August. And you are going to choose to move forward. You're being encouraged to take the small, you are being encouraged to move forward here, but you're being encouraged to take the small step towards the next direction. Slow, steady wins the race, okay? But you are being encouraged to move forward. This last week of August, event-wise, it seems as though a final decision is being made about something, about the path ahead, and you're going to be moving forward. Whether that's moving forward with that friend now that you've set those boundaries, whether it's moving forward in your finances, learning to invest instead of to save or to spend, whether it's moving forward with your life, whether you fix that issue with that partner of yours and now you're moving forward, or whether it's you decided, you know what, that person cannot be in my life anymore, unfortunately, and then you move on. right? So it's moving forward, situation involved, but it's remedied. Or it's you're moving forward after releasing that situation. Now, the theme of this week is reflection and preparation. So there's a lot of reflection about your intuition told you this ahead of time, a lot of preparation about you're already on top of things. So now you can kind of see what's next for you. Once that period of life is over, where you no longer need to worry about maybe paying your bills, or you no longer need to worry about doing what you need to do instead of what you want to do, or you no longer need to worry about making that person happy, or you no longer need to worry about that miscommunication because that turns out that wasn't what the situation was, something like this. Or you don't need to worry about what to do next because your intuition already took care of it, but you still walked through the situation. Okay, so event-wise, we're looking at moving forward, new chapters for you, making the decision to move to the next chapter. Okay, you're unlocking your ancient knowledge, you're activating, you're meditating. This whole month, it kind of seems as though you are releasing things that don't serve you that you might be gripping onto a little bit, or alternatively, you're releasing things that don't serve you that have been gripping onto you a little bit. And so now you're kind of shaking these things off. It seems that this is a gentle kind of flow, a gentle kind of release, like sifting flour through a sifter. Okay, so it's kind of, or like shaking an Etch-a-Sketch. Okay, it kind of needs to shake a few times before everything is all nice and cleared and it's okay. So it seems as though this month is largely doing this, and it's reminding you of all the beautiful things that you can draw, all the beautiful things you can create when you no longer have that, like someone else's picture on your Etch-a-Sketch. Okay, so just taking a look at advice for you generally for August 2025. Your general advice is going to be to focus on yourself and what makes you happy. Focus on making yourself happy. Okay, focus on being a little bit selfish. Okay, not in a bad way, but it's definitely Leo season, and we're definitely going to be leaning into that a little bit. Okay, now we do also have Virgo coming up for you, so it's Leo into Virgo season here. So with this, we're going to be remembering, okay, that you're going to be focusing on yourself, and that's going to look like maybe action. It's going to look like maybe meditation. It's going to look like your health, your exercise, your routines. Okay, so a reminder of this as well. A little bit of advice for you is to try to release as much worry as you can. Easier said than done. I'm being called to tell you about the spleen meridian. Take a look at your spleen meridian. You can just Google it if you've got a book on Chinese medicine or Ayurveda or something like this. Take a look at the spleen meridian. See which maybe points in your body, if you like reflexology or something like this, it connects to. See the chakra, the emotions, the thought patterns, the behavioral patterns, the nutritional patterns. Okay, take a look at your spleen meridian just during this month and focus on keeping it nice and healthy. You're being encouraged to continue to focus on your future goals, and be committed to your future self is the message that's coming through here. Be committed to your future self and your positivity, your optimism. Okay, there are going to be a couple really high highs during this month and a few really low lows for you. So your job is to try to stay not, apathetic at all, but to try to stay more so optimistic, or try to stay more so, let's say, enlightened, meaning being in the light and bringing light forward. It's not to say to dismiss the shadows, but it's to say, forewarned is forearmed here, and make sure that at this point in time you are doing things for your future self, so that when you write yourself a little note, maybe on your mirror or on a sticky note for the next day or for a time when you really need it. We had this coming up earlier with like the menstrual cycle, or with your business, or with yourself, right? Whether it's something small like writing yourself, "Hey, good morning, beautiful. I hope you have a wonderful day," on a little sticky note and leaving it at your desk, or something really big like investing into the future, or starting a business, or starting that workout routine, or devoting yourself to that university, whatever it is. You're being encouraged to put yourself first. Try to release as much worry as you can, gently, lovingly, authentically, and try to be optimistic, try to be conscious of what's going on, expand your consciousness, right? But invest in your future self. When this is going on, you're being encouraged to think about, how can I do something nice for future me? Because if you're walking through situations that necessarily aren't serving you fully, well, you might find that they're not going to be what you want them to be. And I noticed here that the North Node switched to Mercury when I shifted these up. So this is saying that you're moving in the right direction. You have been. In August, you're moving in the right direction. But this is you kind of standing on it a little bit more. This is you knowing it. This is you thinking that, affirming that. And it's also you maybe talking about that too. Saying, you know what, I'm going in the right direction. This is my direction, and that's not up for debate. It's a little bit of This is who I am, and that's non-negotiable. These are who my friends are, and you don't get to decide that. It's giving, these are my boundaries, and it is what I say it is. It's giving, I'm showing up at the gym because that's what I want to do, and that's no one else's decision. It's giving things like this. So it can also look a little bit like embodying those decisions as well, if it's not, again, dealing with an external party. We had that message before of like, say that you have a little bit of extra resources coming in, right? Say you have extra food in your house. So instead of eating all the extra food and then maybe overeating, right? You have a little extra food in your house and it's a blessing and it's wonderful. You have non-perishables. You can donate to others. You can have others over for dinner. It's beautiful, wonderful, magical, right? Instead of overeating and then that food is gone and you don't feel good. Say it's finances. You have a little extra money coming in and then you spend it all and you're like, woohoo, dopamine hit, dopamine crash, right? So it's kind of giving that, then you don't have that money. So we're looking at this kind of theme, okay? You're expressing it through your actions. You're moving in the right direction. You're confident about it. We're also getting that, a little bit of this vibe of you feeling like you don't need anything anymore. You are where you want to be. You've grown. It's kind of giving maybe you're tired of an old paradigm and now you're stepping into a new beginning. And it looks a little bit like there's a consensus here of, well, this is my new beginning. This is what it looks like. This is how it feels like. I've already integrated this into myself, into my consciousness, into my being. I've been on this. This is where I'm going, and that's not changing. So, habits, finances, resources, people, relationships, emotions, you're either coming or you're leaving. Like, you're either coming or you're going, but this is the direction that I'm going in. And everybody can't come with. If you want to come with and you want to act right, if you want to come with and you can keep up, then come with and keep up. But if you can't keep up, don't expect me to hold myself back. And it might be you talking to you. It might be you talking to someone else. It might be you and your current experience of spirituality as well. So that is your advice, to keep thinking about your future, not just where you are spiritually, where you are growing into spiritually, right? Not just where you are financially, but where you're growing into financially. Not just where you are romantically, but where you're growing into romantically. Looking at this, because you've already integrated all of those patterns and habits to be that person. Now you're comfortable where you are. You're comfortable seeing how much you've grown. It's hitting you. And the version of you that you're realizing you are going to be one day, you realize you already are. Which is now time for you to open up that expansion, open up that consciousness, open up that idea of you growing even larger, because you've become the version of you that you were trying to grow into. It's just that there was a situation in your life or a pattern or a person that was maybe trying to distract you from that. So group number 2, this looks like your August 2025. I hope this helped shed love, light, and clarity for you. If you want a personal that's a little more descriptive, a little more personal, you can book a one-on-one with me. They are in the link in the description box. If you want to meditate with me, that's the first link in the description box. It's 21 days of guided meditations. It's meant to be taken as a retreat, but you have access to it forever. So it makes your daily practice a little easier. It's got all kinds of themes. They're good for everyone. They're between 15 and 30 minutes. So it's a great way for you to start a routine and keep on track with it. Also, if you want to check out my spiritual store with my decks, books, journals that I've written, a lot of things that I create, you'll find that on there as well. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe here on YouTube. Follow me on TikTok, on Instagram, and if you want more exclusive content, I've got a page for that here on YouTube, one on Patreon, and I've also got a book club going on too. So if you're interested in any of those things, the link's in the description box, and the book club's on Patreon. I still have to add the link down there. So have a wonderful, amazing August 2025. Have an amazing rest of your day, week, month, year, and incarnation in this beautiful magical realm, and I'll see you next time. Namaste. Hi there, Group 3. Namaste, and welcome to your reading. Today we're taking a look at August 2025 for you, and you selected the third group with the Ask for Help card. The first thing that I'm getting here, group number 3, well, I'm hearing the word hyper-independence. So this might be a month that kind of triggers or draws awareness to hyper-independence. There might be some areas of life where you're like, it's fine, I'll just do it yourself. If you want it done right, you got to do it yourself. Maybe you're not really used to having a support system. Or alternatively, maybe there's a little bit of a vibe here where you were hyper independent, you softened up into a situation, and maybe the results of it aren't going how you expected to. Perhaps this is you leaning into asking for help or leaning into having emotional support from places that maybe wouldn't be necessarily so comfortable for you. So this looks like vulnerability, it looks like asking for help, and it looks like taking a look at your independence and seeing areas where it's helpful and where it's healthy and where it's unhelpful and unhealthy. So let's take a look at the general theme for you, group number 3 for August 2025. So we do have things that are hidden beneath the surface here that are activating and coming up to the forefront. We also have a little bit of this self-expression coming through as well. We definitely have you looking at past habits and patterns and seeing how these are strengths of yours, but how when they become habits or patterns, then it's not necessarily healthy. For example, say that you're an amazing artist, right? Maybe that is your, let's say, south node kind of energy, for lack of a better term. That's a tool that you have in your belt. It doesn't mean you're supposed to grow out of being an artist, but it might mean that you're so used to expressing yourself through art that maybe you don't express yourself verbally. It might be that you are so connected to your art that you actually have an unhealthy or addictive relationship to it. It is sacral. That can occur. Okay, I'm not saying it does all the time, but it's giving something like this. Your south node and your north node, they're your tool belts. It's your comfort tools, the ones that you reach for all the time, and the ones that you learn to use and acquire throughout your life. The south node being the former and the north node being the latter. However, you want to use your whole tool belt, right? Because you can't use the same tool for everything. I mean, you can, but it might not necessarily work the best or be the easiest. And that is the south node to north node journey here. You want to find the balance point in the center, not release one and become the other, because that in and of itself is imbalance too. So we're looking at a similar structure here with an activation of that which has been held beneath the surface. Things that you haven't been expressing to others and you've just been swallowing it down, pushing it down, saying, no, it's fine. Some of those things coming up to the surface. It might be that you have been trying to put one aspect of self-care, one aspect of your life on hold to focus on another one, right? It might be that you haven't been exercising because you've been really focusing on your relationship. Maybe that took up your extra time and now you're just so tired and so you've been skipping the gym a little more. But that's something you would have swallowed down, kept to yourself, and now it's coming to the forefront. You're saying, no, I have to set boundaries here. And it can also be something along the lines of, well, connecting this with independence, it can be experiences that you go through that nobody else knows that you've gone through or that you don't talk about. Maybe you are realizing that you're connecting situations in your life together where perhaps people don't get to know the whole you. Alternatively, you're looking at situations in your life where you got to express the whole version of you and it felt unseen, unappreciated, undervalued, etc. So we do have this activation here. We do have quite a bit of money, luxury, rest, beauty, things like this coming to the forefront. But we're also noticing at areas where you are really comfortable in things that have worked for you in the past. And that's great. They'll continue to work for you in the future, but that is not the full extent of your tool belt. So we're looking at opening this up a little bit, finding new perspectives, and so on and so forth. Before we move on, group number 3, I have a few things I want to tell you. The first is that this is a really long reading. It's a longer reading than the ones that I usually give. So make sure that you have time. You can always speed it up. In the corner, on the bottom where the little time bar is, where you press play and the settings and all that stuff. So you can speed it up if you need to. If you want to save this for later, so you can listen to it while you're taking a really long drive or you're going for a walk or you're cleaning your house or something like this. Also, you might want to grab a notebook because this is going to go through a lot of information for every week of August. And the last thing I want to say to you, other than please like, comment, and subscribe, because I gotta throw it in there, right? it would mean the world to me, is we're going to go through right now the themes, the general astrological themes of each week of August. So I'm looking at this as 5 weeks, knowing that when this goes out around August 1st, that is going to be on, a Friday. It's on a Friday. So the first week, it's kind of that last week of July, beginning of August. We're looking at that week as week number 1. And the subsequent 4 weeks as weeks 2 through 5. So just so you understand that perspective when I'm going through this reading. So the way that these general astrological themes can relate to you individually will rely on your spiritual journey and your own unique natal chart. But the way that these are just general themes will be what we discuss, and then we'll take a look at the tarot for in-depth how that's going to affect you. So for the first week, the end of July, beginning of August, the first theme of this week, it's new beginnings and self-expression. Okay, so this is looking at the blueprint, your glow up. It's looking at manifesting, it's looking at your alignment, it's looking at all things that are new, it's looking at limiting beliefs, it's looking at shadow work, it's looking at priorities, it's looking at higher consciousness, it's looking at inner peace, it's looking at self-love. Okay? The next week, from the 3rd to the 9th, the general astrological theme, it's practicality and grounding. So you're going to take a look at not just your inner peace and the vision and the abundance and the high consciousness, but how to ground that, how to ground your manifestations. We're taking a look at how to ground your goals, achieving goals, how to set systems into play to achieve them. We're taking a look at your soul's purpose. We're taking a look at grounding, spiritual gifts, things like this. Okay, so that's the theme for the next week. For week number 3, the 9th through the 16th, the general astrological theme here, it's harmony in relationships, okay? So this is going to take a look at deepening your relationships, maybe finding your soulmate, a spiritual connection with another person. It's going to look at your relationships of all types, romantic, platonic, familial. It's looking at communicating your truth and your own creative expression, finding that divine love that we try to find through ourselves and through others, connecting with that. It's going to look at harmony within yourself and within different relationships. It's also going to look at where you are receiving your support or where you're not receiving support when you need it. And you did select the Ask for Help card, so I have a feeling that this week is going to be significant for you, and that is the 10th through the 16th of August. So maybe write that down if you're doing the notebook thing. And the final week, the 4th week that we're looking at here, from the 17th to the 23rd, the general astrological theme, it's diligence and service. So we're looking at habits to embrace for you to grow. How to manifest abundance through service, through helping others, stepping into your power, connecting with nature, the abundance of nature, how nature's all abundant. It's abundant because she gives fruit, and then that goes into the earth, and it feeds them, and it creates soil, and it's abundant, and then it grows more, right? Abundance in giving we receive, that kind of vibe, connecting with nature. We're looking at releasing the past. We're looking also at a theme of mercy and judgment, okay? Divine mercy, divine judgment. Okay, so maybe little themes of karma coming up here too, but not so heavy, maybe a slight undertone of karma, depending on how it's relating to you individually. That 5th week, okay, the 24th through, let's wrap it around to the 31st, okay, that is looking at the general theme of reflection and preparation. You're going to start a new chapter after this week. This is going to be reflecting on the month ahead, the retrogrades that have been occurring. You're also going to be taking a look at what to expect for the next chapter, what you can release, how to prepare. This is going to look like reorganizing. It's going to look like activating things that have been dormant within you, unlocking your wisdom, your skills, your toolbox, etc. It's going to look like organizing your closet, cleaning out your home, minimizing. It's going to look like redoing the feng shui in your house. It's going to look like meditating a little more. It's going to look like hitting the gym. It's going to look like gratitude journaling, okay? So that is the overview for August generally, astrologically speaking. So let's get into week by week, the vibe for each week, and an event to look forward to. And at the very end, we'll pull advice. See, I told you it's going to be a long reading, so make sure that you're prepared, or you can speed it up if you need to, or grab a notebook. I do highly recommend doing this one with a notebook. All right, group 3. So week number 1, looking at new beginnings and self-expression. And week 1 meaning August 1st, 2nd, so the last week of July, beginning of August, okay? So this first week, or half of week, if you will, let's see, what is group number 3 experiencing? Okay, beautiful, transformation. We have transformation here and forward movement, okay? So we're really looking at growth, not just changing, right? But growing specifically, moving forward. This is maturing, this is moving forward, this is trying something new. The Chariot can also indicate the 5 senses. It can also indicate the astral body. It can also indicate Krishna. So I wanted to bring those alternative meanings forward for some reason from the tarot. 7 is also a connection with the divine. So it seems as though, you are becoming closer to your higher self in embodiment, or you are becoming closer to the divine. It seems as though this is occurring because of some, 10 of Wands, it's traditionally a burden, but let's call it a hiccup. Okay, there's some sort of hiccup that's occurring here during this, maybe it already occurred this week, maybe it's occurring this weekend, or if you're listening to this that first week, okay? But this is actually something that's transformational for you, which is beautiful. It is occurring because of a little hiccup, but it's helping you to understand that there's a certain area of life. Maybe it's something that has to do with the home, something that has to do with relationships, something that has to do with the way that you move forward. It might have to do something with your parents, your public reputation, or just your ability to transform. It can also have something to do with shared finances or a shared financial responsibility in some sort of way, where in some way you're realizing that there's no more for you to learn, there's no more for you to heal, most specifically. This is something where you kind of look at something and you say, that is not my lesson to learn, it's theirs. That is not my wound to heal, that is theirs. That is not my karma to walk through, that is theirs. This is you realizing that because of some sort of hiccup, you say, I can use this, I see this objectively for what it is. I'm not falling into past patterns, although I might see them, but I can utilize this as a tool in order to grow and evolve. What would I have done at certain points? Because there are versions of that love you, that are healthy for you, and also versions of that do love you but maybe aren't so healthy. A great example of this, we can explore this in my forgiveness meditation if you're on my guided retreat, but this kind of looks at the idea of something that is your friend, something that loves you, but can be really healthy for you and also maybe not so healthy. For example, anger, certain emotions, right? You always want to validate your emotions, but anger, it's a part of you that loves you, right? Resentment, it's a part of you that loves you and wants to stand up for you and shows you where there's something that needs to change. At the same time, the expression of such, at the same time, holding on to such, at the same time, sometimes when it occurs naturally, it can be an act of self-love and compassion so that you can draw awareness to it, because there's that phrase that anger is just like being sad for so long or something like this. But you don't deserve to hold that anger. It's like poisoning yourself and expecting somebody else to get sick. So we're looking at some sort of dynamic like this where you have transformed, you have learned. This isn't something that you don't know, but there's a little bit of a hiccup and you're looking at, well, past me would have done this. Here's what I've learned. Here's the way that I organically respond today or this time. And also, I can select the way that I involve myself with the situation because I'm not blinded by it and I'm not blinded to it. So that's a really beautiful energy. So let's take a look at an event here for this week. Event for week 1. For group number 3, we've got the Page of Pentacles. I'm hearing, surprise, surprise. Okay, there's a new beginning here. A new beginning, some sort of investment. Okay, now it's looking like you're going to invest. I'm getting in yourself, invest in yourself. But, with the Hermit. It seems as though you're going to be investing in things that give back what you put out, okay? So this is looking at maybe some situations where, let's say, past version of you would have asked for help, and you would have been told, no, you can figure it out on your own, but you literally needed the help, okay? This is a situation where if this is someone you would have helped no matter what, then you kind of have the foresight to be able to see, okay, well, I want to invest in situations that I give to that also give back to me. This can be something where you're looking at maybe transactional situations or situations that are superficial, situations that are or are not reciprocal, and you're kind of seeing, how can I invest in myself? And investing in yourself can look like asking for help from someone that you have a good relationship with. And investing in yourself can also look like showing up and doing something by yourself. Saying, you know what, I'm going to regulate, I'm going to move forward, I'm going to grow, I'm going to transform, I'm going to move forward. And the way that does or does not affect you is honestly your own business. Okay, so Kitty's knocking the cards off the table. Let me adjust. Event-wise, we are seeing reward for past effort for you, group number 1, in some way that is going to reaffirm to you that when you put energy towards investing in yourself, then there is a return of investment. So this is going to be something that reiterates this to you. I'm getting right on time. For example, if you've been thinking about starting a new project, opening a new business, going to school, well, this is going to be the week where you see some sort of return, finally, on that book you wrote a while ago, while you are 1 foot in, 1 foot out, will we, won't we, about writing your next book. Okay, this is going to be something that looks like this. Also, we're going to see some moments here of you just spending time alone. The Hermit, it's introspection, and the Four of Swords reversed, in this dynamic, it's really looking at you are introspecting, but you're not seeing, oh, this is wrong, this is a pattern, I should break this, I don't like how I behaved. Rather, although this might be what you're expecting to find when you look in there, that would be a past habit, you're going to find here, oh, that wasn't mine. Oh, I took that on, it didn't belong to me. Oh, I was around this person so much I started talking like them, or acting like them, or adopting their limiting beliefs, or something like this. It can be a situation, it doesn't have to be a person, of course. And so we have with this ask for help theme, we have this, I'm getting a situation that you've gone through all by yourself without talking to anybody about it. And you find that it activates within you now some sort of detachment and also some sort of self-reflection where you are simply looking at something objectively. What is in alignment with you? And what gives back what you put in? Where is there a return of investment? And where is there not? So that's event-wise. We see some sort of tangible event here. So this can be something where you're making a plan, or there's a situation in life. We're seeing a hiccup. And we're seeing a hiccup, and we're seeing a separate situation as well. Whatever this hiccup is, it probably occurred earlier this week. If, again, you're watching this the first week of August, it probably occurred right at the end of July, a little hiccup. But this is something that you chose to handle maybe a little bit a way an old version of you would have. Then you reflect and you realize, well, actually, I was valid to do that. That's a part of me that loves me. And then, moving forward, there's a separate situation where you're receiving a return of investment that is encouraging you to move forward and invest in yourself, and also to reassess some of the situations in your life to see, well, I know that there's no return of investment here, but I keep showing up. I know that there's a huge return of investment here, but for some reason it's harder for me to show up. And you're kind of looking at things like this, okay? So let's move on to week number 2 of August, meaning August 3rd through August 9th. I know it's a bit nuanced because of the format, but I wanted to make sure we get all of the days in there. So the theme of August 3rd through 9th, astrologically speaking, generally, okay, it's practicality and grounding, okay? You can go back and listen to the themes for all of the weeks as I go over them in depth, okay? I also want to mention here that there's something here that's being transmuted, okay? So as you can see, Kitty is, okay, this is why group 1 had 6 dice and everyone else had 5, okay? But there's something here that's being transmuted. So actually, Kitty was laying here and she did a really nice stretch, started purring, and she actually turned the 4 of Swords card upright, which is beautiful energy. I started to rearrange things how they were, and I started recording it to share the message, so let's see what's going on now for you for week number 2. Okay. We have 8, a surprise. It seems a surprise and a little bit of abundance coming in for you as well. I'm also getting some sort of, maybe it could be a collaboration request or approval or something that's going to be financially lucrative for you. Okay, Scorpio, it's giving the shared inheritance energy, but it's something where there's financial gain for both parties with the number 2 involved. Okay, and it's looking like something at work or in your public reputation. Okay. So energies for week 2 of August, meaning 3 through 9. Okay, yeah, so we do have financial ventures. We do have abundance here. We have smart investments, big investments. And okay, I'm not going to lie, maybe a little bit of a crash out. Okay, but it's okay. This is where we're going to look at the first card you picked and say ask for help. Kitty, do you want to give us some advice? The Chalkopyrite. Have fun with it, get creative. And 3, okay, talk about it. Talk about it. Talk about it with people that you know care or who have gone through the same thing, who maybe can give you advice or just listen. I'm hearing that phrase, when you can sit and write down a problem, you've already solved half of it. Okay, now I'm not going to sit here and say all the problems in the world are that easy to solve, but that phrase is coming up, so there's going to be some significance to that in some way. And Kitty's advice here is the number 3, so talk about it, write about it, journal about it, okay? And the Chalkopyrite, or create something about it, be fun with it, okay? Do something different than what you normally would do, okay? But do ask for help, okay? Because this is looking like maybe you're taking on something new. Maybe you are having a busier schedule. Maybe you're starting a new project, right? So this week, you're going to be looking at the things that you normally take on alone, and in some way it's going to get shared. But you're going to look at the pros and cons of both. Why you usually do what you do, why it's nice and maybe a disadvantage to do the opposite, why it's nice and maybe a disadvantage to do what you usually do, so on and so forth. You also might be feeling like you are staying home a little bit more than usual, okay? Ooh, look how these cards fell. 10 of cups with the sun, which I love how they came out in this stack. This is letting me know, yes, a surprise. There's going to be an event the second week of August that is a huge surprise to you, but it's also going to be beautiful. Okay, it's going to feel really, really good. I'm getting this as some sort of like a universal surprise is what I'm getting. Emotionally fulfilling. This is something where someone's giving you a big gift. I'm hearing the word proposal. So it can be a project proposal. Someone could be sending you like a pitch deck for something that you love, right? It might be that a brand that you absolutely love wants to pay you to work with them. It can be that your romantic partner proposes to you or they accept your proposal. It can also be something along the lines of a surprise that's really positive for you as well. Okay. We also have Cancer coming out. Okay, that was Kitty's role as well. So Kitty wants to remind you, okay, there is an emphasis around the home here. You might find that you're staying home a little bit more than you were the first week, or a little more than usual, or that you are enjoying staying home. Okay, especially with the Pisces, or we're having your energy and your emotions a little bit. We've got literally Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio here. So a lot of water energy. So your advice here is going to be to drink a little bit of extra water. Maybe you're having a surprise vacation to the beach. Maybe you're going to have a surprise at a body of water, something like this. Maybe someone sets up a nice bath for you, or you get to go to one of those cool bath houses. I'm being shown there's one in like Chicago and New York. I think there's one in LA. They're called the Air Bath and Spa, I think. My gosh, I love it. So there's something like that I'm being shown. It can also be something like I'm being shown like specifically salts, like Himalayan salt, like a salt lamp or a salt bath, or you can be in one of those salt caves where they have yoga and sound healing or something like this. That can be significant. I'm being shown something that has to do with forward progressing in life, and also something that's relaxing, like watching a sunset with a loved one, and it's just a night that becomes a core memory because you feel so good. It can be like a romantic night. It can be a nice moment at a massage where you just really are living for that day, for that moment, something like this, okay? Let's take a look at week number 3, meaning the 10th through the 16th. The theme here, harmony and relationships. Woo! Okay. This week is going to go by fast for you, and it's also going to look like you're realizing where you were cutting yourself slack and cutting others slack in areas that maybe should have, would have, could have been a little more disciplined, and vice versa. Areas where you were disciplined with yourself and with others where maybe you should have, would have, could have given yourself a little more slack. We're having things turning up on their head a little bit, and I'm also getting, don't forget the universe serves up karma, okay? So there's going to be something that occurs here or that occurred in the past. I'm being shown a situation. I'm being shown like this sunset scene or something like this from the end of week number 2 where there's a bit of a vibe of, well, this is all nice and wonderful, but like, what about that thing though? Like, it's kind of giving, say that you choose to heal a relationship and you move forward with it, but they kind of treated you like crap. Their actions didn't really have consequences. They didn't learn their lesson. And you're like, well, I'm happy to be in a nice, happy connection with you. That's wonderful. But like, your actions have consequences. That's not fair. Like, I don't deserve that. Something like this. It can be something at work where maybe there's corruption at your job, and maybe you get that promotion and you get along with your boss and things are going really well and you're like, that's so great, but like, really, there are no consequences to that? This is a reminder that the universe sees and hears everything, and I'm hearing, don't worry, it's going to come back around. This, however, is going to absolutely miss you because it has nothing to do with you. So what you're going to experience here is a peaceful, fun, playful week that's focused on you, focused on making you happy. But at the same time, you might feel a little bit guarded towards trusting a situation, accepting an opportunity, opening up again, or something like this, because of the fact that you are you are so aware of the fact, I almost said blissfully aware, which is interesting, because you're so aware of the fact that actions have consequences. But it seems as though your good actions maybe haven't had consequences, and someone else's bad actions haven't had consequences. So you might feel a little bit guarded. Nonetheless, this week it's all about making you happy. It's all about pampering you. It's all about you having fun. It's all about you expressing yourself, going out, doing things you don't usually get to do. This is the universe giving you help from somebody whose karma it is to be awesome to you, or from a situation whose job it is to be awesome to you. But there's going to be a difficulty trusting. This is kind of giving the vibe of, it's like that job where maybe they weren't the best to you, but then you get a promotion and they're like, wow, everything's so good, and then they treat you really well. Like, it's your karma to get treated well by this situation, and their karma to treat you well. But their actions still have consequences. So you're going to be guarded for that reason. It can be a person, it can be a family member, something like this, but that's what's kind of the theme for the third week here. Let's see an event that's coming in, but it's all about you. It's all about making you happy, because it's like I'm getting owed some sort of debt. Okay, so an event here. Interesting. Something about being in the present moment or not moving something forward is occurring. There's a little bit of this there's an emotional progress that's occurring here, but it's not giving stability. It's giving options open. This can be the kind of thing where you're having like a wonderful date with your lover and you see them checking out someone else and you're monogamous. Okay. This can be something where you start to heal with the business or with a friend or with a family member, right? Emotionally, you're moving forward. But there's still this like pattern, this old pattern that's being followed, and you're aware of it. And it's not your pattern. So you're keeping your options open. Or maybe you're aware of the fact that they're treating you well because they should be treating you well, but maybe they're still keeping their options open on the other side of things. There is an event here where it's going to be shown in front of whatever this is that you have other options. This is where some of that consequence to the actions come into play. Okay, this is going to be something like someone watching you get asked out on a date, maybe in front of someone that it genuinely doesn't look like you're dating because there's no romantic undertone to the situation. Maybe that was the whole problem, right? It's giving you receive a job offer while you're at a business lunch, but they're wearing khakis and sandals, and they don't like khaki shorts and sandals, and it looks like they're not really respecting you, so they wouldn't assume it's a business meeting. So they show up and they offer you a business deal because they can see, they recognize you, they know who you are, they tracked you down, they've got a wonderful proposal for you. So it's kind of giving something like this. So there's a little bit of a plot twist. It's kind of the universe making an example out of you and also kind of gassing you up this week of August. And I'm getting that you really deserve it because you were in a situation that was not fair for you for a while. You're going to know what it is, okay? And you might even gaslight yourself a little bit saying, well, you know that wasn't fair to you, but maybe you weren't the best version of you either because you responded to their disrespect, right? It's kind of giving that. So be cautious not to do that with yourself, especially during the first week of August or so, because it seems like you know this, but just, be aware. So moving on to week number 4, and by this I mean the 17th through the 23rd, focus being diligence and service, okay? So let's take a look at the theme for week number 4. Ooh, things are really going your way. It seems actually this week like things could not possibly be going better for you. You're on cloud 9. I'm getting you're in your bag. So you've got some resources coming in a fun way. So maybe you've got that. I'm hearing some of you that escrow went through. For some of you got approved for that credit check, or you got approved for that apartment or that condo or something is coming through. Some of you that job. What is it called? If you sent your resume to a place, your interview got accepted, you got the job, something like this, you got accepted into something, and there's a little bit of this energy where you get exalted in front of all of the people who were having fun putting you down. Now, it's interesting with the ask for help energy. This is coming through in an inverted way. So the energy of this week here with diligence and service, it's in some way the universe blessing you because you have been in service to a detriment to yourself, and you learned how to take care of yourself and continue to stay in service. There were a lot of people who were like taking your energy, they were eating all of that service, but they weren't providing back to you or anything or anyone else for that matter, okay? And so you're going to have a really amazing week this week, actually. And you're also going to find that you manifest things very effortlessly. You are going to find that this maybe triggers someone around you. And you might almost have, I'm hearing like survivor's guilt, or you might feel a little bit bad that things are going really well for you and someone else is dealing with the consequences of their own actions. But what's occurring is everyone is dealing with the consequences of their own actions. That is what's occurring. So we have in the beginning of the week prior to this. A little bit of, well, something's not fair. Something was left unsaid, undone, unfinished. Well, it's closing out this week. And the way that it's closing out, it's not you get a slap on the wrist and they have to learn something the hard way. It's a little bit more they watch you get elevated and they watch themselves get triggered for something that has absolutely nothing to do with them. It's kind of giving an energy like this. It's you're manifesting things very effortlessly. You're focusing on yourself. It's really beautiful. You're having an amazing week. Things are going really well for you. I'm hearing almost too well, okay? And so there's a little bit of you that might feel bad, okay, that you started a business and so you're making money by doing what you love and what you learned and what you got educated on and you're doing good at. And so you're having results from your hard work and there's someone else around you who does none of those things, has no idea what's going on in your life or doesn't do any of the things that you do, and they feel bad that they don't have the results that you have from your work. Okay, so don't feel bad because you don't have the same results if you're not taking the same path or doing the same actions. Okay. I'm not getting like an everyone grows and blooms at their own time situation. I'm getting a, if you're on your couch playing Fortnite at 2 a.m, or you are hustling, waking up at 5 a.m. and going to the gym, you're going to have very different life experiences and very different results. So the one that ends up getting a bunch of acne and is always tired and cranky all the time, okay, versus the one that is super fit and they're toned and they're healthy and they're wealthy and they have healthy relationships in their life, right? It's like taking the finished projects of two like experimental results, or two experiments, and seeing those results and comparing them next to each other. Okay, the plant that you said mean things to and the plant that you said nice things to, they're going to look differently. And that's what this week emulates, except you are the positive plant. So congratulations. Okay. Event-wise, you're going to feel very satisfied. Okay, so there is an event coming this week. Okay, that is going to be kind of a focus of the month for you, more or less. Okay, going to be a bigger event. While things are going really well for you, you're going to notice that it shakes up some other things. It shakes loose something that's really abundant for you. Meaning that you post one thing, maybe say that you post on a platform every single day, okay? And maybe you just have consistent results and they're underwhelming but present, you know? One of them goes viral and then all of a sudden more of them go viral and more people are buying your product and they're reading your book, so on and so forth. So something like this occurs this week. It's going to happen fast. And you're going to be feeling blissful about it. You're going to be feeling like you are in service to others. You're going to feel like your diligence pays off. You're going to feel like you can release a burden of the past that you were stressed about for a long time. You feel like you don't need to manifest something anymore because it's already arrived and it's permanent. Or at least some of the results are permanent enough to create a real change in your life. That's going to be a really significant event that happens this week for you. Okay, there is something else that wants to come through. I'm trying to find it. I'm really being shown, I'm being shown past life, okay? So some of you, that's not your flavor of spirituality, and that's totally cool. But there's going to be something here about, let's say, a repeating pattern that's subconscious that is coming through, and it's closed, it's done, okay? It's like you asked for help from the universe, and the universe showed you what to do. You asked for help, and the universe gave you, like a box of IKEA parts and a list of instructions and that little L tool, right? And you asked, give me an office. And you got boxes full of things that need to get done with instructions. And you sit there and you put together everything. You put it together right, you put it together wrong, you put it together right again. You try to put the right feng shui in the office. You figure it out. You sit there, you do the work. You asked for help and you got instructions and you followed the instructions. And so this asking for help energy, it kind of closes out in this situation. You no longer need to manifest something. And you get to release the tail end of an energy that you've learned. You learned the lesson, you walked through the situation with the, let's say, quote unquote, right answer, and then you moved on. This time, it's just done. It's not in your subconscious anymore. It's not in a pattern, okay? Period. So, also, I do want to mention that there's going to be a PLR on my Inner Circle channel during this week, specifically on Wednesday. So, keep an eye out for that. So, the 5th week of August, the 5th and final week, meaning the 24th through, let's say, the 31st here. Okay, reflection and preparation. Let's see what the theme is here for that last week of August for you, group number 3. We have the Page of Cups. Okay, I'm getting that there's some sort of like a romantic situation here, but you're going to be feeling like you are very present, like almost like you are in control, but not in a toxic sense. There seems like to be a fun-loving kind of unserious, it's giving a play date. It's not giving interview to be your husband, wife, life partner. It's giving fun, okay? Now, there's a little piece of you, there's a little piece of you that kind of wants more from a situation here in your life this week with the reflection and preparation, but you also are aware that it's not providing that for you. It either can't at this point in time or it won't. And so there's an energy here of you realizing that you are in this adult energy. The adult energy can play, but the child can't adult, and that is the difference. So you're in this energy, this adult energy that is playing during this week. But the fact that you are playing with maybe a child who can't adult with you, whether that's an analogy for your job, a business, an energy that you're manifesting or something like this, okay? A friend, a family member. It can be that you're dealing with an immature parent or with an immature friend or romantic partner or something like this, okay? Now, because of the fact that in this situation, the proverbial adult can play, but the proverbial child can't adult, there's a little bit of a maybe miscommunication, there's a little bit of a misinterpretation, there's a little bit of maybe a grieving process or a little bit of upset here. It's not that bad, really. It's not giving something intense, but maybe there's a situation in your life where you wanted to expect more, but you have a realization that you won't be able to expect more of it, but it's not anything you don't provide for yourself. It's not anything that you aren't actively providing for yourself and for others. So there's some sort of realization here as you prepare for what it is that you choose to do with the situation. For example, if you're super fulfilled in your life, it might matter a little bit less what you're receiving from that situation other than maybe some fun or getting to play. However, because you provide for yourself everything that you could need and anything is just a cherry on top. But this does have a theme of reflection. So we're circling back around to kind of the beginning of August here, where you kind of learned what is giving to you and what is not. Where is there a return of investment and where is not? So you can have a hobby for the sake of having a hobby. There's nothing wrong with that at all. But a hobby might be all that it is. Okay, for lack of a better term. And that's not to say you can't take a hobby and take it to the finish line, because you absolutely can. But that's not what this energy is here. Okay? You can choose to do that. You can choose to do that. You can choose to open up a business that will lose $10,000 a month every single month and be so happy because you don't have those needs financially. But if you do have those needs financially and you open up a business and it loses $10,000 every single month, then it might not be of your best interest. However, you're in the first situation. Mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, financially, doesn't matter. So you can open this business that will lose you $10,000 every single month, but it doesn't really matter. It's whether you want to be in that situation for the fact of doing something that you love, or whether you want to be in that situation in spite of the fact that it's going to lose you money, right? It's kind of taking a look at, yes, cause and effect here. It's taking a look opportunity cost. And at the end of the day, the fact that it doesn't matter to you as much. So where do you want to be stable? Basically, what do you want your life to look like? So with the reflection and preparation energy here, we have this kind of, let's say, advice to ask for help, but to ask advice from, I'm being shown a stereotypical guru. Actually, I'm being shown specifically the guru from Avatar: The Last Airbender. There's one guru episode in there. But the reason why this energy it's coming through, you might have a specific spiritual teacher or a teacher in your life that this resonates with, but it's giving somebody who is the ascended master. So they're very mature, they're very evolved, they're very aware, they're very conscious, but they also have that childlike smile, that childlike wonder. So it's giving someone who can see through the eyes of innocence because they're evolved enough to do it, not because they're naive enough to still do it. So an event for this final week of August here for you. Okay, so we have you perhaps uprooting something because you don't need to learn a lesson a 5,000th time when there's not a lesson there for you to learn. Okay, it can also be that you realize that you don't invest in something moving forward because things are going really well for you and you don't need it. Okay, it's kind of giving, well, I'm hearing the song No Drama by Tyler Jane, so it can be like You just don't want the drama in your life, so you're just not going to invest in this long term. Okay, it's giving, you just don't want the headache. Maybe you can afford to lose $10,000 in your life, but you'd rather make investments. You can still do what you're going to do as a hobby, but maybe opening up a whole business or a boutique about it isn't going to, like, basically there's an event here where you cut your losses. We have other interpretations here. Something is uprooted and kind of, it's uprooted due to someone not paying attention or uprooted due to negligence. Another interpretation here can be that another interpretation here for you is something is effortless on your end and you can do it with your eyes closed, with your hands tied behind your back, okay? And this is something that's significant here. It's like you see on one end hard work and paying a lot of attention, but on your side of things, it's effortless and you can do it with your eyes closed, hands behind your back. So that might be a dynamic that you see mirrored, but inside out, okay? So that's the event for this week. Now we'll look at some advice for you. I'm really being shown connect with water because we have Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio coming out, okay? And I'm also getting to reflect about an old flame or an old situation, okay? And about how the people around you responded to this occurring. It can be when an old friendship broke down or when an old family relationship broke down or an old romantic partner broke down. There's something here about, let's say, a connection specifically, or connections in your past that broke down for whatever reason. So taking a look at these and seeing who was there and how and why and how it made you feel. Okay, just reflecting over these. Also connecting with water specifically. So advice for you, it is not to fight uphill battles. Take the path of least resistance. Get fun with it, get creative with it. I'm hearing the song Get Jiggy with it, okay? Because there are going to be stresses, anxieties that simply don't belong to you, that you've already evolved past. So don't commit yourself to a low vibration just because someone can't meet you at a high vibration, okay? So if you can meet someone where they are, but they can't meet you where they are, they can't even meet you at the middle ground, commit to your higher vibration. Don't worry about the stress, okay? You can still show up in a situation, but your advice is to cut your losses as soon as you realize that something isn't going anywhere, something isn't going to change. And I'm also getting to be open to new connections or new situations here, okay? Your hard work is paying off and it's really going to show around your home or something relating to your home, okay? There might be a surprising new relationship coming in. Do you remember? Earlier in this reading, we spoke about somebody asking you out while you're with your romantic partner, but it doesn't look like there's any romance. There are no, like, in the situation, so someone would not mind at all. It seems like they wouldn't mind. It's giving the energy of you getting a job offer, but when you're at a business meeting, but it doesn't look like a business meeting because it doesn't look like they respect you and they're dressed really casually and they're probably drinking a beer or something, right? It's kind of giving an energy like this. So you're being called to be open to whatever new opportunities come your way, especially whatever that one is that resonates with you then, okay? You're going to have a big choice here. You're being encouraged, of course, to take the spiritual path here and listen to your intuition because you're going to know what's right. There are hidden factors. I'm getting, again, the universe sees things that you don't see, okay? Keep an eye out for people around you who complain just to complain. Keep an eye out for people around you, especially during this month, who want to have a problem and they just want to complain about it. They want to have a problem, okay? And so they want to have a problem, and maybe it's with the world, maybe it's with the air, maybe it's with their outfit, maybe it's that they stubbed their toe. It's like every little thing is a problem because they want and need there to be a problem. If you are there, then you become the problem. Also, you're not a problem. You're not being a problem. You can be the most problematic version of yourself, and when you're in the right situation, you're not a problem at all whatsoever. You're an absolute joy, okay? And that's something that you know. So, advice for you for August, create, okay? Do dive into that new project. Do start that new business venture, okay? Cut your losses if and when you need to cut your losses, but do move forward with the things that you know have a good return of investment, that you really enjoy. Be creative, okay? You got this energy here. Be creative with your responses. Be creative with your transformations. Be creative with your outfits. Be creative with your verbiage. Be creative with whatever it is. Let that creative energy flow through you, okay? I'm also being shown I'm being shown for some reason a cool aesthetic, a creative, I'll say quirky, but that's not necessarily the right word, aesthetic, Okay, so don't be afraid to get creative with your outfits or your hair, or add that extra accessory or something like that as well. Let's see any advice relating to the ask for help card here, because I just want to get more clarity here for that. Okay. I'm getting ask for help within the home, or ask for help relating to something in your home. You need help reaching the top shelf of something and your step stool just ain't cutting it, okay? Ask your neighbor who's 7 feet tall, okay? It can be you want some help installing a new curtain rod, but you're kind of scared because you don't trust yourself using the drill, or you don't have one. Ask for help, okay? It's giving, you're having a hard time unscrewing that jar, and it's going to cause sweat, blood, and tears for you, but you've got your romantic partner right there who's nice and strong and happy to do it for you. Just ask, okay? Little things. It makes your life easier, okay? It makes your life easier and makes other people feel like needed and wanted by you, okay? So that's coming through as well. And also, okay, you don't realize how much you really help others, okay? And part of this is you learning to receive a little bit more, okay? Because something's been imbalanced because you show up for yourself and you show up for others. And I'm getting that you've been surrounded by people who don't show up for themselves, so they don't show up for you. And if they do show up for you, it's only in the way that they show up for themselves, which isn't close to what you would need to actually add something on top of your life. Going back to this theme that came out in that last week. So anything else group number 3 needs to know? Okay, set your boundaries, speak your truth. I'm hearing don't give a shit. Okay, speak your boundaries. Okay, harshly. You don't need to sugarcoat anything. And also, like, I'm hearing the song La Que Puede Puede by Catriel y Paco Amoroso, which is like kind of more or less like if you got it, flaunt it. Like, basically they're saying like, look, you are beautiful, you are hot, you are smart, you are thriving, you are spiritual, you are beautiful inside and out, okay? And I'm also hearing that like it takes a village. Like, it takes a village to do what you do by yourself. I'm also being shown like I'm being shown Marie Antoinette, who's not necessarily an exemplary moral figure, but if we're looking at aesthetics and like superficial things, okay, she's got a lot of let's say nuance. Everything is very specifically designed for her taste. I'm being the reason why this is coming through is because I'm being shown she had an entire team, a lot of royals or celebrities. They have a whole team. They have a glam team. They have a makeup team, they have a hair team, they have an outfit team, they have a scheduling team, right? I'm hearing it takes a village to do what you do by yourself. And so also ask for help, because you are coming through as this emperor-empress vibe, which is beautiful. You've got the high priestess here, like with the intuition too. We have the high priestess and the Hierophant coming out for you with the empress, the emperor. You're very connected, you're very aligned, you're very balanced. And so asking for help, it kind of allows you to receive in a way that's expansive for your journey moving forward. So ask for help opening that jar, because some people have someone zipping up the back of their dress and putting on their boots at the same time while someone else is doing their hair and someone else is doing their nails and someone else is doing their makeup, okay? And that doesn't need to resonate with all of you specifically, but there's a little bit of this vibe of you could afford a little more luxury. You could afford to let people help you out a little more. That doesn't mean that you can't tie your own shoes. It doesn't mean you can't zip up your own dress. It doesn't mean you can't run your own business or write your own blog. It doesn't mean that you can't do your own makeup. It just means that you don't always have to. And there's someone out there that'll be happy to open that jar for you. And they're not going to complain because they're in the mood to complain. All right? Ace of Pentacles. New beginnings. New beginnings. The theme of the first week of August, last week of July, beginning of August that week, it's new beginnings and self-expression. So right now you're expressing yourself and it creates this mess. We've got all these retrogrades, this beautiful chaotic mess, nonetheless. But we have all these retrogrades right now, all this crazy astrology, all these crazy things going on in the world. Last week of August, it's reflection and preparation. So you learn to express, aware, ready, stepping into this new beginning. Now you're seeing what it is that you like, how you want to express yourself. You're getting funky with it. You're getting nuanced with it. You're making new decisions. You're being more emotional about it. You're listening to your intuition. It's beautiful, wonderful, magical. You're asking for help. You're taking the path of least resistance. You're getting more creative with things in your life, more playful, more creative, more intuitive. It's wonderful. And then this last week, it's what to release, because what is that next big life chapter? Now you're like, oh, there's a new beginning, Okay, so now who am I that I step into this new beginning? So what's going on? What do I like? What do I feel? All of these things that have changed in this last chapter. It's this transitional period. And then after this last week of August, you are drop-kicked into this next big life chapter. So August is filled with nuance for everybody, not just for you, for everybody. And there's a little bit of happy, there's a little bit of sad, there's a ton of retrogrades, which are totally kicking some people's butts, okay? So it's valid. So this is an opportunity for you to observe, for you to be present, for you to reaffirm that you know yourself, and sure, maybe review some of the other things that have come up in the past. For you, it's about path of least resistance, knowing that you are who you say you are, knowing that you are creative, you have transformed. The first card that came out for you was the Death and Rebirth card. You've already done the work. This for you is the world catching up. That's why your reading looks like this. The other ones didn't. Okay? If you picked another pile, those things can coexist. Okay? So, group number 3, I really hope that this helped. This is what to expect in August 2025 for you. I love you and I'm grateful for you. If you want a personal reading with me, you can find them in the description box. They're on my Etsy at Spiritualistik, of course. I have a whole spiritual store up there, so you can find my decks. This is my graphic tarot, my Follow Your Heart oracle. I have other tarot and oracle decks I've made too. I wrap crystals, including, I think I've got some chalcopyrites or peacock ores on there as well. Okay. Oh, also we've got the peacock ore, and we had the chariot, and I felt called to mention that the chariot was Krishna. Peacock is also Krishna, so Krishna's coming through to say hi. You don't need to resonate with like Hinduism or yoga specifically, but on your spirit team, the energy's coming through, or something that relates to that for you, okay? Because we're all individual here, and we just love the love, right? And the growth, and that's the point. So, with that being said, please like, comment, and subscribe. If you want to meditate with me, the first link in the description box is my 21-day guided meditation retreat. You have access to it forever, so it kind of takes the guesswork out of your daily meditation practice, and it has a whole retreat for you to kind of reset, regroup, level up, wherever you are in your life, wherever you are in your spiritual journey. I've got more exclusive content here on my Inner Circle channel on YouTube. I've got a platform for it on Patreon, and I have yet another one on TikTok, all different content. So you can follow me on TikTok, on Instagram, on Patreon. I've got a book club going on. Got lots of stuff going on, so check out the description box below. I love you, I'm grateful for you, and I'll see you next time. Have an amazing rest of your day, week, month, year, and incarnation in this beautiful magical realm. Namaste.